Old relative, after listening to Hillary rattle on and on and on, I don't think so badly of Rosie O'Donnell anymore.
This is the Howie Carr Show. The Howie Carr Show continues next. We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
CNN is terrible. CNN. You're with CNN? Are you with CNN? You people do not cover us accurately at all. So what I'm going to do is span out. Show them the crowd, press. Show them the crowd. Show them the crowd. Look, they're not turning the cameras. They don't even turn the cameras. They don't even turn the cameras because you know what? They're very dishonest people. Frankly, I don't even think they give a damn about education, half of them. And I'm sure some maybe do use that word in this. I will. Because people want to hear the truth, Frank. Here we are in the middle of a deal, and he doesn't call about that. One sentence, I'd say, you got to, before we start, get those people back. Used to be 3, now it's 4. Get those people. They'd be back the next hour.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Many legislators claim to be for lower taxes and government transparency, but are they really? Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance keeps you informed by posting the voting records of our elected officials. You can log on to our website at massfiscal.org. Click Scorecard to see how your legislator is voting on Beacon Hill. And while you're there, make a donation. And be sure to join our email list so you can stay up to date with the latest information on what's happening at the State House with Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance.
Paid for by the Mass Fiscal Alliance, Rick Green, Chairman.
Hi, I'm Howie Carr, and I'm here with Rick Green of the Mass Fiscal Alliance. Wow, Mass Fiscal is really driving the moonbats crazy.
Who knew putting voting records online would be so controversial? Many legislators claim to be for lower taxes and government transparency, but they sure don't vote that way.
Your group is just what this state needs. How can the listeners help you guys?
Just have them visit our website at www.massfiscal.org. They can join our email list and donate if they like. And of course, make sure they check out our scorecard to see how their legislators voted.
Paid for by the Mass Fiscal Alliance. Rick Green, Chairman.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
I say, hey, wait a minute. He didn't leave the country. He wasn't out of the country. Michael Cohen of the Trump Organization was in Prague. It turned out to be a different Michael Cohen. Sure. It's a disgrace. What took place, it's a disgrace. And I think they ought to apologize to start with Michael Cohen.
Sir, since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Mr. President-elect. Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization.
You are attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically, Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question? You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not appropriate.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hi, folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms, that is, chemicals, processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website, GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's GetTheTea.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
CNN is terrible. CNN. You're with CNN? Are you with CNN? You people do not cover us accurately at all. So what I'm going to do is span out. Show them the crowd, press. Show them the crowd. Look, they're not turning the cameras. They don't even turn the cameras. Because you know what? They're very dishonest people. Frankly, I don't even think they give a
damn about education, half of them. And I'm sure some maybe do use that word in this form. I will. Because people want to hear the truth, Frank.
Here we are in the middle of a deal, and he doesn't call about that. One sentence, I'd say, you got to, before we start, get those people back. Used to be 3, now it's 4. Get those people. They'd be back the next hour.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And like after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code TALK.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
PC police have claimed another thought criminal, this time in Silicon Valley. The crime, daring to challenge the liberal worldview of the Google oligarchs. Given the outrage pouring in from liberals, you'd think he wrote a 21st century Mein Kampf, but the now famous Google diversity memo is actually a common sense, science-based look at gender and diversity in the workplace. So who are the science deniers now?
Live from an undisclosed location.
One of the most famous men in New England.
Conservative radio host Howie Carr.
The legendary Howie.
Who do you love?
We love Howie Carr.
Howie Carr.
Howie Carr. We love you, Howie.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
The Justice Department has really got to go after Google. I mean, they got to, antitrust. If antitrust is good for other corporations, it should be good for the social justice warriors at Google, the company led by Sergey Brin, who was born in Moscow in the Soviet Union, and his parents fled the totalitarianism of the Soviet Union, and now he's trying to recreate it in Silicon Valley, the same sort of authoritarian state that created so much devastation in the 20th century. This is bad, and the more I read about what Google is like, the more I'm appalled by what's been going on. Welcome to the Howie Carr Show, and you probably heard the news by now. We talked about it yesterday about this memo that was written by this software engineer at Google. It turns out now his name is James Damore. He has a PhD from Harvard, and he was fired. I guess that was to be expected. But so basically his complaint is that Google was an ideological echo chamber that made it hard to dissent from Google's left-wing bias and its quote-unquote politically correct monoculture. And now they've confirmed it. Everything he said was absolutely true.
You're making light of this, but there are a lot of female employees at Google who are so distraught over this manifesto that they couldn't even come into work today, Howie.
I know. He said that that females don't have the same get up, basically get up and go. I forget what word he used, but get up and go is what he meant. And they're such morning glories that they can't come to work. I mean, was it that bad? I mean, give me a break. What about Hate Mail Monday? I come into work every day. I just finished writing a column. Then I come in here and do my radio show. I'm going to get my head handed to me on the message boards and on the chump line and everywhere else. What the hell? This is just really bad, and they. And he isn't the only one that this happens to. I want to hear from people today who we can expand this out from Google. And I mean, as interesting as Google is, and as significant as Google has become as a corporation, as a tool that we all use, and we all either use it or I've given money to Google. Just I bought ads on Google. When I was promoting my books, if you're promoting anything, chances are you've done business with Google, and we all use it to find out little things here and there, or big things here and there,
like famous American inventors.
Yeah, that's a good point. Steve found that's going around now. Google, if you will, if you're near a computer or tonight when you get home from work. Google famous American inventors,
or just American inventors.
Yeah. Did you know that only black people have invented stuff in the United States? It's an amazing thing. And I mean, George Washington Carver. Okay, I know who he is. I didn't know who any of those other ones were. I don't think I'm particularly ignorant. But Thomas Alva Edison comes in at about like number 10 on the list. He didn't. What did he do? The electricity, the phonograph record. He was a
slouch.
He was a ham and egger, compared to Joe Blow. But that's the way it is. I mean, you ever look at Google on Christmas Day? There's nothing. There's no cross. There's no star. There's not even a snowflake or Santa Claus and a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I mean, they just give Christmas a good leaving alone, and that's the way it is. So. They've. This is an example, though, of how bad political correctness has gotten, and there's stories now all over Breitbart about this, and about how these people have operated. They've apparently been proudly saying in social media, or at least company-wide media, that the executives some of them have been creating blacklists. Believe it or not, blacklists. I mean, this harkens back to the days in Hollywood in the early 1950s and the late 1940s. The House Un-American Activities Committee, and people couldn't work in Hollywood because they were suspected of being fellow travelers, or they were outed in most cases correctly, but in some cases I think unfairly, as communists or communist sympathizers. This is more organized than that was. And this, and how many movies and books have you read about the blacklist and how horrible it was? And yet all these years later, the left wing, the same people who denounced the Hollywood blacklists of the 50s and the McCarthyite tactics, et cetera, they're doing it themselves. Here's one from a Google manager. I keep a written blacklist of people whom I will never allow on or near my team based on how they view or treat their coworkers. That blacklist got a little longer today. What would happen if a Republican congressman wrote something like that? Or a business executive who happened to be a Republican? Or even a businessman who happened to be a Democrat, who, if this got out, why are these people not being sued by everybody in the world? This guy DeMore, I mean, I guess he's going to be okay. Steve says they're a libertarian companies or startups in Silicon Valley that he can work at. And, he can get, he can have like a run of lectures to conservative groups, and he can get a book contract. I don't think he's going to be able to retire on it or anything like that, but he can get a book contract out of this.
I think he might sue Google as well.
Yeah, I'm sure he will sue Google, and he should sue Google. And this is Google has perhaps unintentionally created an authoritarian atmosphere that has stifled discussion of the very issues. This is Breitbart, but I think it's true. By stigmatizing anyone who disagrees as a bigot and instituted authoritarian policies of reverse discrimination. So, again, the ironic thing here is that he said that there is this authoritarian atmosphere, groupthink at Google, and that it's stifling freedom of expression and freedom of thought, and Google responds by firing him. So they've done exactly what he said they would do, basically. And these are witch hunts. That's the only way to describe them. They're going out and they're trying to eliminate anyone who disagrees with their groupthink policy. But again, sometimes it's okay to make generalizations about gender roles. Like, for instance, here's in the New York Times, a couple of days after the election last year. Women actually do govern differently. Did you know that? Well, is this an example? Was the person who wrote this, Claire Kane Miller, was she fired from the New York Times for writing this? How dare she say that there are any differences between the two genders?
So
right?
Would Caitlyn Jenner govern as a man or a woman, according to the New York Times?
I don't know. There are more than two genders. And if you want that on your T-shirt, you have to order. Do you want a male or a female? Because those are the only two kinds of T-shirts we have here at the Howie Carr Show. Women are less likely to vote for war or the death penalty. I mean, that in itself, that's gender stereotyping, and I'm reading from the story. 844-500-4242. Do you have experience in this? And the reason I bring this up is one reason I bring it up is because I did. My Kennedy Babylon show in Hyannis over the weekend, and one of the people that came up that was at the show was an author of some children's books, really nice children's books. He has another job, but he writes these, and he has a publisher in New York and all this, and he's been criticized. He's gotten bad reviews from Kirkus Reviews, which is. It's not so important for someone like me, but it's important for a guy who writes children's books because libraries subscribe to Kirkus Reviews and they just buy what, if it gets a good Kirkus review, it's going to sell a lot of copies. And they've been after him. He wrote one about a pirate, and the pirate had an eye patch. I mean, how many pirate movies have you ever seen where the guy didn't have an eye patch, right? But now they accuse him of having being insufficiently politically correct to the differentially abled or whatever. I can't even think of these. I can't even keep the euphemisms of the day straight.
You better watch your microaggressions, bro.
You weren't supposed to write about blind people, okay? Let me put it that way, Snowflake. Let me just put it in plain English. And so they ripped his book. And they always they keep coming up with new ways to rip his book, and this is going on in every facet of life. I'll read you some of the Kirkus reviews when we come back. But have you run into this? Do you keep your mouth shut in your place of business? Do you not want to talk about things? Have you ever been you think discriminated against? By the way, there's another story today. Yeah, about as a sort of a follow-up to the Justice Department investigating the anti-Asian discrimination at these colleges like Harvard and UNC. And they say that now Asians are trying to figure out ways to disguise the fact that they're Asian Americans. So they're not. So if you're not, it doesn't matter if you're in a minority group. If you're not in the right minority group, you're going to get screwed.
Hey, well, we've heard from the people who haven't even read the Google memo. 617 text, getting fired for saying your genes are superior to thousands of your female coworkers is not a civil rights issue. Thanks. That's not what he said in the memo. Read the memo.
I mean, to me, that's like the smaller part of the memo. The more important part of the memo is the authoritarian atmosphere at Google that he calls out. And they have these courses called cognitive, what is it called? The cognitive bias? Implicit bias. I can't even keep these euphemisms straight.
You clearly would not fit in at Google, Howie.
Yes, clearly. I wasn't planning to apply for a job there. And it's not mandatory, but you are encouraged to volunteer to go to the implicit bias workshop, which is I've been to Diversity University. I know what that's all about. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
The Howie Carr Show.
Ever since we announced our contest where we're giving away 10 fishing trips with Captain Dave Marciano aboard the Fishing Vessel Hard merchandise, just for following us on Facebook, we here at Matthews Brothers have been hearing from people from all over the country. A large number of them have asked if they can stop by and take a tour of our factory, but want to know if we have electricity yet. Some are strangely curious about the availability of indoor plumbing, while others have asked if it's possible to drive here from the United States. Well, rest easy, Pilgrim. We'd be tickled pink to welcome you here and show you around the factory, especially since we no longer have to rely on coal gas lanterns and steam engines. After the tour, please visit our modern bathrooms, the majority of which now feature flush toilets. Best of all, since we're technically in the United States, you won't even need a passport. Boom! So this summer, while you're driving along with the kids in the back asking, are we there yet? Why not put them to work looking for Matthews Brothers trucks, Matthews Brothers dealers, and the big old Matthews Brothers bug proudly displayed on every window we ship. You can learn all the details, but only at Better Lumber Yards and Window Professionals, or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
When our military members enlist, they embark on a mission of protection and service to a nation and people they love. When returning home from that mission, things don't always go as planned. And at any given time, there are over 50,000 veterans homeless in America. The DV Farm in Gilsum, New Hampshire is giving some of these veterans a second chance at a new mission, integrating back into society. But the DV Farm receives no state or federal funding. It survives solely on your donations. Please support our nation's heroes by giving a tax-deductible donation at dvfarm.org. That's dvfarm.org. One homeless veteran is too many. Let's complete this mission together.
This is the Real Deal Report with Jeff Deal, who led the successful grassroots effort to repeal automatic gas tax hikes.
I'm Jeff Deal, candidate for United States Senate. Illegal immigration is not only a public safety problem, but it's also costly for hardworking taxpayers. The Commonwealth spends an estimated $1.8 billion per year on taxpayer-funded benefits. Allowing sanctuary cities and failing to secure our borders will add to that burden. Senator Elizabeth Warren doesn't side with us. She doesn't deserve another 6 years. It's time for a new senator who will secure our borders, support the wall, and stand up for the taxpayers.
Help Jeff Deal defeat Elizabeth Warren. Go to dealforsenate.com. Paid for and authorized by Deal for U.S. Senate.
And now, 6 fun facts.
As many of you know, we here at Matthews Brothers are hell-bent on tripling our Facebook followers by Labor Day, and we're giving you the chance to win one of 10 fishing trips aboard the Fishing Vessel Hard merchandise with Captain Dave Marciano in order to accomplish that. Well, sir, I'm pleased to report that at the halfway point, we now have 1,216 followers. Strangely enough, only 1,184 of them like us. Now, we're not exactly sure what the story is with these 32 unsociable friends, but if nothing else, it does prove that people will follow you, even if they don't like you all that much. Something politicians have counted on since the age of the Sumerians. It also proves that there's a small percentage of the population who will do just about anything in order to win a fishing trip with good old Captain Dave, even if it means being friends with a window company of all things. But thankfully, there's an even larger percentage that have liked, shared, commented, posted, and generally pinged their little hearts out about Matthews Brothers, and in the process have learned a little bit about us. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You can learn more about our wicked awesome Maine-made windows, but only at Better Lumber Yards and Window Professionals, or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
But who really needs more stuff? Let's be honest. Between Christmas and the New Year, it's hard to come up with a nice way to give a great gift without just regifting that old fruitcake. But luckily, we have the perfect gift idea for you. It's the Howie Carr Show VIP Experience. If someone you know is a fan of Howard Lawrence Carr, then this is the perfect way to celebrate any occasion. Come visit Howie in our brand new studio and watch the entire show. Best part? Well, if you were to ask Howie, he'd probably say the Kowloon. And I can't really disagree. But there is also no other way to see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into New England's favorite radio show. Get your picture with Howie and a selfie with yours truly. We've had over 100 people enjoy the VIP experience, and the reviews have been stellar. We've even had the occasional guest on air to tell their own funny story to the listeners. So don't delay and buy your VIP experience today at HowieCarrshow.com. Click store. HowieCarrshow.com. Click store.
If your home has hard water, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes, damaging your appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars each year. You can eliminate limescale in the entire house with HydroCare products available at Wave Home Solutions. Easy and efficient with no maintenance, no salts, no chemicals, and no coils. And you can buy with confidence from Wave Home Solutions. Performance guaranteed. Just go to bestwater411.com. That's bestwater411.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
He's on your radio and on your smartphone. Download the Howie Carr app on the iTunes or Android app stores. This is the Howie Carr Show.
Today's poll question is brought to you by Cape Gunworks Range and Gun Shop. Looking for a fun activity on the Cape this summer? Check out their store and range in Hyannis, capegunworks.com. And the poll question today concerns Colin Kaepernick. There are reports that he's refusing to sign with the Seattle Seahawks. Were thinking about signing him, and then Pete Carroll announced that, well, he's a starter money, in other words, so they couldn't sign him for the minimum, which is $900,000. So then he goes to the Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens, and Bisciotti, the owner, is interested in signing him as a backup. And Ray Lewis, the all-time great linebacker, puts out something on social media, says, hey, Colin, concentrate on football, not activism. So his girlfriend, Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend, says, Ray Lewis is a slave and Biscotti is his master. That kind of slowed down negotiations. So there's a story in the Daily Caller today that Kaepernick has scuttled these attempts to sign him as a backup so he can make a big controversy of it. Again, a PC controversy. Everything's about political correctness now, so that he can get the big money, even though he's a bust out. He hasn't had a good year in 3 or 4 years.
He wants to get into steam control.
Yeah, exactly. This is football, not steam control.
I think he wants to get a job at Bain, managing the social investment vehicle.
Yeah, you want to be in steam control. Talk to Deval Patrick. Don't talk to Pete Carroll or Ray Lewis, okay? So, Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Will Colin Kaepernick play in the NFL this year?
No, I don't think he will.
80% say no.
You'd have to be out of your mind to hire him. I mean,
with a name like Colin,
it's a tough enough damn job being in the NFL, you know? Why would you want to bring on a blister? I was going to say a headache, but he's not a headache. He's a blister. Ugh. All right. Let me read you this thing before we get to the calls about the this children's book that this guy and again it's a really nice children's book. It's by a guy named Mike Lewis. He's from Braintree. Captain McNasty, complete with eye patch, peg leg, and a sharp hook-legged prosthesis replacing a missing hand. You mean like Captain Hook? Come on. could be problematic in an era of disability awareness. Several texters have pointed out they wore the eye patch so they could keep going back and forth below decks, and it was dark like a cave below deck. And so their eyes could adjust more quickly if they only have if they had the eye patch. Captain McNasty and some of the pirates have tan skin, while all the elves appear to be white. No buried treasure here. In other words, librarians don't buy this book. But, again, this is going on everywhere. 844-500-4242. How do you deal with politics in the workplace? And this is tough. Someone says, I work at UVM and I keep my mouth shut. Somebody else says, I work in the federal government. Same thing. Yeah, I keep my mouth shut. I run an art gallery on the Cape. Talk about Moonbat Central. It's danger close every single day. I even have to change radio channels when they are in, so I don't get labeled a racist by listening to you. Thank you, Cape Cod, for sticking with me. I appreciate it. Contractor for the Coast Guard. I remember a retirement party for an active duty CPO when the retiree was asked by the commanding officer to mention diversity. The guy literally said, "Goodbye, oh diversity." The crowd burst out laughing. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
John McCain goes, oh boy, Trump makes my life difficult. He had 15,000 crazies show up. Crazies. He called them all crazy. I said, they weren't crazy. They were great Americans. These people, if you would have seen these people, I know what crazy is. I know all about crazies. These weren't crazy. So he insulted me, and he insulted everybody in that room. And I said, somebody should run against John McCain, who has been, in my opinion, not so hot. And I supported him. I supported him for president. I raised $1 million for him. It's a lot of money. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers.
And the poll just came out, and I'm tied with Jeb Bush. And I said, oh, that's too bad. How can I be tied with this guy? He's terrible. He's terrible.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap. But did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
PatriotPrepared.com carries the leading brands of storable food from Numana, Legacy, and Heaven's Harvest. Patriot Prepared. Our name says it all. We're dedicated to empowering you to be self-reliant and confident in any circumstance. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, PatriotPrepared.com has prepackaged meals and kits for your entire family. Legacy, Heaven's Harvest, and Numana are known for high-quality, great-tasting GMO-free, nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. Simple to prepare, easy to store, gluten-free and organic high-quality nutrition options with a 25-year shelf life. You can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. So go to PatriotPrepared.com right now to pick up your supply of high-quality storable food for your family, because it makes good sense to be prepared. That's PatriotPrepared.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
While I'm not at this time a candidate for the presidency, I will decide by June whether or not I will become one. Business Week magazine, which is now Bloomberg Business Week, said in a vote of its readers that Donald Trump was the world's most competitive
business person.
Your research says that there are, for immigrants on the whole,
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out. Go ahead. I know the greatest negotiators in the world. Some are horrible people, horrible human beings. Who cares? Some Wall Street guys, they're brutal, they're miserable. You wouldn't want to go out to dinner. They're terrible people. I love them.
This is the Howie Carr Show. He says it because he means it. This is the Howie Carr Show.
The employee, his name is James DeMar. He has a degree from Harvard. His manifesto quickly prompted extreme responses from left-wing Google employees, including one social justice warrior, Emily Gorsinski, who claims she would beat the bleep out of him. What is she, a Teamster?
That's a very tolerant response to an idea.
Is Local 25 organizing Google? Is that what's going on here? Elon Altman, who was a senior software engineer and describes himself as an intersectional feminist. Again, a phrase I have never heard before until this very moment. An intersectional feminist.
That means he pretends to be a feminist so he can hook up with chicks.
He uses they, them, their pronouns. Was also seen in leaked screenshots urging Google management to fire employees who agreed with DeMar.
Well, obviously, that's the next step in a witch hunt. You can't just take down the one.
Right. You got to take down everybody. You know, what happens if this guy sues, or any of the people that are going to get fired here in the witch hunt, in the purge, shall we say, as they used to say in the Soviet Union? If anybody, files a lawsuit and goes through discovery and tries to get all these emails and these postings on Facebook and all the other social media sites about how these managers have these bleep lists of people, employees. I mean, it should be good for millions of dollars in settlements here.
Howie 978 says, you shred Google for firing an employee for free speech, but you shred Kaepernick for speaking his mind, essentially supporting the NFL for not hiring him.
Why would you hire? The guy's a bust out, and he just wants to create trouble. This guy is saying, shouldn't we be entitled to our opinions? This guy, Kaepernick, is he's a pain in the ass.
And by all reports, he was the engineer was doing a good job and was quite capable at what he was doing. Right.
Whereas Kaepernick he didn't lose the starting quarterback's job at the 49ers because he's black. He lost it because he sucked. Okay?
And also, the emphasis of his memo or manifesto, whatever you want to call it, is about improving the bottom line for Google as a company. He was offering advice that would help the company be more profitable.
I'm an artist on the Cape, and the occupied zone is being pushed back to Orleans. My 508, my manager said our team is a bunch of Trump racists for objecting to a vendor sending jobs to India. She liked sticking it to North Carolina workers being displaced for voting for Trump. Officer Mark, Howie, you know where I'm working now. I feel like I'm on it's an undercover assignment. You have a lot of fans here that I've connected. I won't tell where he's working, but Hackorama. 603, it's like 1960s East Berlin again. It really is. It really is. Let's see. Let's take some calls here. Mark, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Mark.
Hi, Howie. I'm calling from Montreal. I've been calling in a long time. I just want to say something happened to me at my job. I gave an opinion about Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I was talking with my boss and whatever, and two Arab guys that work in the store. They didn't like what I was saying. I wasn't saying nothing racist, and they labeled me a racist in the store, and I was a pariah in there for about a month. And my boss had to clear it up. He said, hey, hang on there. You don't just go judge people like that. They didn't let me finish what I had to say.
Mark, how is saying something about a Muslim racism? I mean, since when did Muslim become a race?
Howie, you don't live
That's
in Montreal.
I know that's a rhetorical question. It's the same down here too, Mark. But it's preposterous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's disgusting. Howie, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I'm trying to look for your book, Kennedy Bamelon in Montreal, at the bookstores. Now, one damn store has it.
No, they wouldn't. That's not that's not political correctness. I just don't have any bookstores selling it. Can't you go to on Amazon, Mark?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'll go on Amazon, but I asked him, Howie Carr's book. What?
Yeah. I know. I know. I don't have a distributor. I'm distributing the book myself. I got plenty of bookstores down here in the States, but I just don't have any in Montreal. So just go to Amazon, or you can order it off of HowieCarrShow.com.
I think it's a crime to traffic a copy of Kennedy Babylon across the border.
Wait till Kirkus Reviews gets a hold of my book.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Thanks for asking, though, Mark. I appreciate it. David, you're next with Howie Carr in the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, David.
Hey, first of all, I want to thank you for helping keep me sane and thinking there's other people that think like I do, so I appreciate that. I live in Hanover, New Hampshire. I'm a retired disabled veteran. I have 25 years of military service. I'm a retired captain. And for speaking my mind, the town I live in college, they have band together, put a fence around my property that blocks my legal right of my fire lane, my driveway, since the day that Donald Trump was elected, November 9th.
What was this? What did you have a sign on your front yard or something?
No, I've been battling to keep the waters clean. The college and the town have a illegal recycling program where they put asphalt waste from local contractors that runs into my drinking water, and for that they've held me as a pariah. They've decided they can hold me hostage. It's been 9 months tomorrow. 9 months, Howie. I've been held. I run a homeless shelter here for other disabled people.
Yeah.
We have no water. We've only recently had our electricity resupplied by Easter Seals, Veterans Outreach. I have called hundreds of governmental and private entities, and we cannot get help.
Yeah, I don't know about that, David. We can talk about that off air if you want to. We'll give your number to Grace. 844-500-4242. Joe, you're next with Howie Carr in the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, hello, Howie. Hey, quick story. Me and a coworker were interviewing this woman, a woman for a high-tech job. 20 minutes goes by. There's no clocks in the room, so I looked down at her wrist to see what time it was. Well, her watch had stopped. So I pointed that out to her. I said, "Excuse me, did you happen to know your watch stopped?" And this fast forward 3 hours. I'm called into HR with the director. I said, "What's this about?" I said, "Well, you had a complaint during the interview." I said, "Really? What about?" "Well, you told this woman that her watch had stopped." I said, "You're kidding me." I said, "That passes the mother test. I told my mother that. Well, why am I here?" He said, "Well, that question was of a personal nature.
What?
It had nothing to do with work."
What?
I told her her watch stopped, and did she know it?
So how about if you said her excuse me, your shoelace is untied, and you might want to tie your shoe so you don't trip over it and fall on your face. That would be, I guess,
exactly, that would personal nature. That has nothing to do with work or work-related questions, Howie.
That's a crazy story, Joe. But I believe it totally.
And it's a true one. You take care.
Thanks a lot. 844-500-4242. It makes total sense. It makes no sense, but it makes total sense because it makes no sense.
Have you ever been called in front of HR, Howie?
No. I don't think so.
Come on. I don't believe that for a second.
No, I told you.
You've never been brought to HR.
I told you I got suspended for a week once because I didn't show the proper respect at university diversity. And then I filed a grievance, and they threw I told you this. They threw the paycheck at me because they didn't want to go through discovery. The one thing these PC people don't want to do, especially in public companies, is go through discovery. And that's just, they can't take out the D word.
My roommate is an HR person, and she
loves Donald Trump, and I give her all of our gear, and she wears it into work. She doesn't get in any trouble because she's in charge.
Some guy just said he works in an auto body shop in New Hampshire and he doesn't have to worry because they listen to talk radio. I mean, this is the whole thing. This is one of the things about getting into a trade or something. You know, you don't have to worry about crap like this. If you're, if you become say a plumber or something like, or an electrician, something like that, you don't have to put up with this BS. Although I guess, if you have Moonbat customers, I must say you still do. You still got to bite your tongue, when you come in there and you come into somebody's house and there's a shrine to Hillary Clinton in the front hallway or something. You can't say anything. But you don't, at least when you're out in the truck or when you're back at the at the shop, you don't have to worry about this BS. It's one reason to be your own boss. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more calls here. What is your experience? Have you been discriminated against in the workplace because of your political persuasion? 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
The Howie Carr Show continues next.
Cape Gunworks is family friendly. Need a break from the beach and miniature golf? Head to Cape Gunworks with the family. Special packages are available and all kids aged 10 and over are welcome to shoot at Cape Gunworks. Father and son, mom and dad, or even father and daughter like I've done. Cape Gunworks is a great time. The sun is great, but take a break and head to Cape Gunworks. Don't forget ladies' nights on Thursday and date night on Fridays. Cape Gunworks at 96 Airport Road, Hyannis. CapeGunworks.com.
Business owners, how salty, dirty, and rusty are your trucks and equipment? Maine Oxy has a free offer. Let us show you the power of our pressure washers. We'll bring one to your shop or business and demonstrate just how clean, salt-free, and rust-free your fleet will be. And we'll bring you a 5-gallon drum of soap free. Call us today to schedule your own private and free dirt-blasting demonstration. MainOxy.com with stores throughout New England.
For industrial gas, for specialty gas, call Main Oxy.
Are you looking for a pre-owned car? Well, before you go to the dealership where you'll be pounced on by pushy salespeople, give the Car Guys a try. I'm Bill Papa George, and my job is to make finding the perfect used car as easy as possible. That means I do all of the tough legwork for you. Once I figure out what you want out of a car, I go find it. I've been in this business for a long time, and I know what to look out for. I won't bring you a car unless I know it will meet or exceed your expectations. So give me a call at 800-300-4600. That is 800-300-4600.
Do you need new T-shirts for your sports team? Do what I did. Call Tax Free Tees.
If you're looking for custom t-shirts and apparel, call the experts at Tax Free Tees. They print all the t-shirts for the Howie Carr store, and there's a reason why. Tax Free Tees has the fastest turnaround, and there are no setup or design fees. And Tax Free Tees has low minimums. You don't need to order 100 shirts. If you need custom t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, or apparel of any kind, do what Howie did. Call Tax Free Tees or visit them online at dowhathowiedid.com. That's dowhathowiedid.com.
Dowhathowiedid.com. Dowhathowiedid.com.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. Gifts are always great, but who really needs more stuff? Let's be honest, between Christmas and the New Year, it's hard to come up with a nice way to give a great gift without just regifting that old fruitcake. But luckily, we have the perfect gift idea for you. It's the Howie Carr Show VIP experience. If someone you know is a fan of Howard Lawrence Carr, then this is the perfect way to celebrate any occasion. Come visit Howie in our brand new studio and watch the entire show. Best part? Well, if you were to ask Howie, he'd probably say the Kowloon. And I can't really disagree. But there is also no other way to see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into New England's favorite radio show. Get your picture with Howie and a selfie with yours truly. We've had over 100 people enjoy the VIP experience, and the reviews have been stellar. We've even had the occasional guest on air to tell their own funny story to the listeners. So don't delay and buy your VIP experience today at HowieCarrshow.com. Click store. HowieCarrshow.com. Click store.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
Would odors, mold, and mildew describe your basement or crawl space? It doesn't have to be that way. Transform them into a fresh, healthy, usable one with the technologically advanced Wave moisture control units. The computerized operation maximizes moisture control and also expels harmful radon, combustion gases, and numerous other pollutants. Dehumidifiers are old technology that do nothing for air quality and waste energy. Wave units are intelligent, self-monitoring, do not need maintenance, and will save you hundreds in electricity. Wave units are still running effectively over 15 years. They've been tested and installed in public and military housing and by property managers nationwide. Buy a unit now, and if your home is not fresher and drier, you can return it for a full refund for up to 12 months. What have you got to lose? Call now. 1-888-618-WAVE. 1-888-618-WAVE. Or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Have you seen Howie's latest t-shirts and sweatshirts? Grab one now at HowieCarrShow.com. This is the Howie Carr Show.
This half hour of the Howie Carr Show is powered by Wicked Good Cupcakes. If you're looking for the perfect treat for any occasion, look no further than Wicked Good Cupcakes. Ordering is easy. Go to their website at wickedgoodcupcakes.com. That's wickedgoodcupcakes.com.
781 says, I work in academia and keep my mouth shut. My boss has TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, and many students are of the snowflake variety. There was weeping and gnashing of teeth when Trump won, so it's best to keep a low profile. I can't believe all the places where there was weeping and gnashing of teeth. Some of the white shoe, top law firms in New York took, had these mandatory grievance wakes or sitting Shiva when Trump won, like it was some kind of tragedy. 603, Howie, the guys painting my kitchen are listening to your show with me, and they're loving it. Yeah, if you work as a painter, you don't have to. Well, again though, you go to some moonbat's house.
You're painting on the coast of Maine.
You got to keep your mouth shut. Absolutely. 207
offensive and harmful. That is how the CEO of Google is describing an anti-diversity memo written by one of Google's male employees. Now the engineer behind the manifesto, which claims women are less suited for tech jobs than men.
Shut up.
Because they're women. Biologically, they can't do it. Well, that engineer tells the Wall Street Journal he has been fired.
What are the chances that she's actually read the memo? What are the chances she's read a bullet point memo about the memo?
Some of the women that worked around him, and I would assume some of the men too, but said that they feel uncomfortable working around him, this male engineer, after they knew that he wrote this memo. That's an issue.
Only the intersectional feminist men feel uncomfortable working around him. 844-500-4242. Here's someone this person has texted us before. He works, or he or she, I don't even know who it is, works at a supermarket in Maine.
Did you just misgender him?
I don't know if it's a he. I don't know which of the 58 flavors he or she belongs to. So,
down here, Roger.
So this is the guy or gal, somebody who wore a Trump hat or a Trump sign to work, and they told him to get rid of it. But of course, everybody who wears Hillary stuff, that's okay. Yeah, and 978. Did you see the report that dozens of women today at Google decided to call in sick to work? Yeah, we mentioned that earlier. 978, I'm in the STEM field, and my supervisor makes sure I'm at the bottom of the heap because I'm a Trump supporter. And another guy says that when gay marriage was legalized, his company had a mandatory celebration and a mandatory half day off.
I'll take the half day off.
Yeah. The celebration, Tony, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Tony.
Hey, Howie, thanks for having me on. I love what you're doing. Thanks. Keep up the good work. Just wanted to give you guys some insight into what I'm seeing in my own company. I work for a Palo Alto company. I don't want to use the name because I don't want retaliation or anything like that.
Yeah, don't.
But just let you know, it is as bad, if not worse, than you think, especially in Palo Alto companies. It's like there was some study that somebody did and about unconscious bias, and it's like sweeping through all the companies out there.
Yeah, he gets into that. He gets into that in the memo, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made us go through mandatory unconscious bias training, like a 2-hour training. It was like the only training that was mandatory. Even our technical trainings weren't mandatory like this one. They made us go through it. They beat us over the head with it. Now there's a new policy in place where you can't even hire someone until at least one person in the interview process is either a woman or a minority. You can't even hire. So if you put out a job rec and you get 10 qualified applicants and they're all guys, you can't hire. There has to be a female candidate in the pool. So and then the other thing is it's a part of MBOs. So executives now, it's part of their MBOs. So if they don't have a certain number if they don't fill that quota, they don't hit their MBO and they don't get paid.
What does that mean? What does that stand for? MBO.
Managed by objectives.
Oh.
So they have objectives that they need to hit in order to be able to get their bonus pay, and it's a part of their MBOs now. They tell us at every town hall, at every executive meeting that they have, that hey, they beat us over the head with it. This inclusion and unconscious bias, and the reason you didn't hire a woman is because there's a ghost in your head that's telling you not to hire a woman, and you got to chase down that ghost and bring in women candidates.
Tony, I could already tell you the only thing I would learn at unconscious bias, and just being forced to go to it, I would learn this: keep your mouth shut under all and any circumstances. Isn't that the only thing you learn at unconscious bias class?
I felt like Winston Smith in 1984 at one of those Big Brother meetings.
And by the way, Tony, if this inclusion is such a big deal, how come Google's only 2% black?
Yeah. I mean, you can trace it all the way back to there's studies done on what people are going into school for, what they're studying, and there's just a shortage of people going and studying STEM topics for minorities and even women. So you can't correct the problem by magically manufacturing people that don't exist. They need to exist first by going to school to study these things first, and then there'll be more people out in the pool of applicants that you can actually pick from.
You mean if you major in queer studies, you might not be qualified to work in a STEM field? Is that what you're saying, Tony? Yeah, you I don't know what you phobe you. I don't know what kind of phobe you are, but obviously you're a phobe, right?
Christina Summers says feminist dance therapies. I think that's
feminist dance therapies. That reminds me of Larry Summers. I mean, this is the guy. He was the original James Damore. He was the president of Harvard University. I mean, you couldn't be more PC than that guy. Plus, he had all these advanced degrees from MIT and Harvard. I mean, the guy was brilliant. And he just said that maybe women didn't go into math because they had their brains were wired a little differently. I mean, he just kind of made a passing remark, and that was the end of his career. Damore, I guess when he was at Harvard, wasn't paying too much attention to what was going on down at the highest levels of academia. We're gonna move on. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
So the Mexican government is not happy with me, to put it mildly. And again, I respect Mexico, but their leaders are too smart for our leaders, because we have stupid leaders, okay?
You mean it's not politically correct, and yet everybody uses it? So you know what? Give me a different term. What else would you like to say? Oh, you want me to say that? Okay. No, I'll use the word anchor baby. Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. They dunk people with a cage. Did you see that? They dunk them and drown them. These people make Saddam Hussein look like a choir boy. I know Anthony Weiner for a long time. I knew before they caught him with the bing, 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 right? And he was a bad guy then. It turned out that he was a really bad guy. I beat the people from China. I win against China. You can win against China if you're smart. But our people don't have a clue.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hi, this is Andrea from Ever So Humble Pie Company in East Walpole. Well, it's that time of year when comfort food is king. And now, in addition to our delectable dessert pies, we're offering home-style classics like chicken pot pie, shepherd's pie, and Canadian meat pie. Simply turn on your oven and you'll have a wholesome, hearty meal. Pick up a fruit pie while you're here, and you've got dinner and dessert from Ever So Humble Pie Company. For more information, call us at 508-660-9731 or visit us at eversohumble.com. That's eversohumble.com.
It's here, Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Kennedy Babylon is a whirlwind tour of scandals from the days of the Kennedy clan's rabidly anti-Semitic patriarch to the death of JFK Jr. Ann Coulter says Howie Carr is making Kennedy books great again. You'll love the never-before-seen images of the Kennedy family in Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Now shipping. Order today at HowieCarrshow.com. Click Kennedy Babylon. Howie Carr Show continues next. And now, 60 seconds of liberals freaking out over the election of Donald J. Trump.
You're awake, by the way. You're not having a terrible, terrible dream. Also, you're not dead and you haven't gone to hell. This is your life now. This is our election now. This is us. This is our country.
This is a different Earth today than it was 24 hours ago. It's a different place. It just is different.
The woman who President Obama called the most qualified person ever to run for the White House couldn't break through. The question remains, who can?
Deeper concerns tonight that the world's shining light of democracy has gone dark.
Decency lost last night, and that's what's so hurtful about this.
This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president in part. And that's the part where the pain comes.
How do we explain how this is possible?
How did this happen?
Trump derangement syndrome. It's a real thing, folks.
Hi, this is Andrea from Ever So Humble Pie Company in East Walpole. Well, it's that time of year when comfort food is king. And now, in addition to our delectable dessert pies, we're offering home-style classics like chicken pot pie, shepherd's pie, and Canadian meat pie. Simply turn on your oven and you'll have a wholesome, hearty meal. Pick up a fruit pie while you're here, and you've got dinner and dessert from Ever So Humble Pie Company. For more information, call us at 508-660-9731 or visit us at eversohumble.com. That's eversohumble.com.
It's here, Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Kennedy Babylon is a whirlwind tour of scandals from the days of the Kennedy clan's rabidly anti-Semitic patriarch to the death of JFK Jr. Ann Coulter says Howie Carr is making Kennedy books great again. You'll love the never-before-seen images of the Kennedy family in Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Now shipping. Order today at HowieCarrshow.com. Click Kennedy Babylon. And now, a bunch of random facts with Grace.
It is impossible to sneeze with your eyes open. The placement of a donkey's eyes in its head enables it to see all 4 feet at all times. Months that begin on a Sunday will always have a Friday the 13th. What is called a French kiss in the English-speaking world is known as an English kiss in France. Birds don't urinate, but they do poop. Let me tell you, you can't kill yourself by holding your breath. So that's good. A woman from California once tried to sue the makers of Cap'n Crunch because the Crunch berries contained no berries of any kind. In Japan, crooked teeth are considered cute and attractive. A Swedish woman lost her wedding ring and found it 16 years later, growing on a carrot in her garden. The toothpaste Colgate in Spanish translates to, go hang yourself.
This has been a bunch of random facts with Grace. Check out Grace's latest posts, pictures, and blogs at HowieCarrshow.com.
Hi, this is Howie Carr, attorney at law. Are you a white male who voted for Donald Trump? Do you have a Make America Great sweatshirt or a hat? Have you had a beer since November the 8th? If you answered yes to one or more of the above questions, there's a good chance that you are soon going to be charged with committing a fake hate crime. Will you be ready, you uneducated redneck? When you get charged with committing a fake hate crime, will you be ready? You need reasonable doubt at a reasonable price. And that's where Howie Carr, attorney at law, Esquire, comes in. Call me at 1-800-FAKE-HRC. 1-800-FAKE-HRC. And we will get you some legal insurance for when it inevitably occurs and you're charged with a fake hate crime.
And now, 60 seconds of liberals freaking out over the election of Donald J. Trump.
You're awake, by the way. You're not having a terrible, terrible dream. Also, you're not dead and you haven't gone to hell. This is your life now. This is our election now. This is us. This is our country.
This is a different Earth today than it was 24 hours ago. It's a different place. It just is different.
The woman who President Obama called the most qualified person ever to run for the White House couldn't break through. The question remains, who can?
Deeper concerns tonight that the world's shining light of democracy has gone dark.
Decency lost last night, and that's what's so hurtful about this.
This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president in part. And that's the part where the pain comes.
How do we explain how this is possible?
How did this happen?
Trump derangement syndrome. It's a real thing, folks.
Hey there. Quick question for you. Would you be okay with more energy, more endurance, thicker, healthier hair, a better mood, reduced appearance of wrinkles, improved sleep, improved blood pressure and cholesterol profiles, improved vision, improved memory? Okay then. Well now, have you heard of Nature's Youth RSF? It's from the anti-aging experts at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. See, at Nature's Youth, they understand exactly what it means to provide top quality health products. And Nature's Youth customers not only improve their health, they know they're also providing their body with the right nourishment to maintain that peak performance and fight the aging process. If health, wellness, and nutrition are what you desire, choose Nature's Youth RSF. I did. You see, you're going to get older. It's just up to you how you feel when you get there.
The New York Times says Mike Pence is running a shadow campaign to unseat President Trump. Ditto for Ohio Governor John Kasich. And the pollsters tell us that Trump's approval rating is lower than whale excrement. But the stock market is roaring. Unemployment is the lowest it's been since 2001. There are 1.1 million fewer people collecting food stamps. America's back in business, so what's not to like? We'll break it down now on the Howie Carr Show.
Live from an undisclosed location.
One of the most famous men in New England.
Conservative radio host Howie Carr.
The legendary Howie.
Who do you love?
We love Howie Carr.
Howie Carr.
Howie
Carr. We love you, Howie. Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Welcome to the Howie Carr Show. The number, if you'd like to join us, 844-500-4242. And the North Korea situation is getting more dire by the hour. There's a story now from the Washington Post, and again, take it for what it's worth, knowing the source. But they're saying North Korea has successfully produced a miniaturized nuclear warhead that can fit inside its missiles, crossing a key threshold on the path to becoming a full-fledged nuclear power. U.S. intelligence officials have concluded in a confidential assessment. And the U.S. calculated that last month that up to 60 nuclear weapons are now controlled by North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Some independent experts believe the number of bombs is much smaller. And so this is an indication that the North Korean military threat may be advancing much more rapidly than experts had predicted. And we had believed that it would be years before they would have this kind of capability, but now it appears that it's much closer to fruition than we had thought possible. And President Trump is on a vacation or working vacation, whatever you want to call it, in New Jersey at his golf club, and he just addressed this. He made a public statement about this.
They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He has been very threatening beyond a normal statement. And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
You know, this is the reason this is dangerous, of course, is this isn't like ISIS, where, you know, if we wanted to, we could just level Raqqa. And they're in, like, I don't know, a handful, or in major concentrations in a handful of other towns. Now that they're not in Mosul anymore, we could reduce all the places where there are ISIS members to rubble in a matter of minutes, basically, with drones. And I think you wouldn't even have to risk American lives to do it. But in this case, in North Korea, it's a totally different situation. You've got those 40,000 U.S. troops that operate as a tripwire there in the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, and beyond the American troops, Seoul is like 10 million people. In South Korea, it's basically a very well developed democracy, almost first world. I guess it is. You could argue, I guess it is first world. And all the artillery from North Korea is trained on Seoul, and it's only Seoul is only 40 miles from the border. So you have all these Westerners, basically, including our troops, are at stake here. So, you know, even if you just pulverized and dropped a nuclear warhead on the North Korean capital, how would you take out the all those batteries of artillery? It's a real mess. That's why he keeps asking China for some help, and China seems to I mean, sometimes they make these half-hearted efforts, or claim they're making efforts to get North Korea back in line. I mean, they control most of the imports that North Korea needs to survive, even on the Stone Age level at which they exist. And I mean, if China would do something about North Korea is basically a client state of China. And but China doesn't want to do anything. They just like to see everybody. They like to see the U.S., Japan, South Korea, all of the rivals in the Pacific of China, just struggling to try to figure out what to do with this rogue regime. And it's kind of it's something you can put on the back burner when they're just sending up these crazy missiles and they're falling into the Sea of Japan. But I mean, if they're getting this close, it's worrisome. Plus, if they have these warheads, there would be, I guess, the fact that they're talking, they have all these sanctions against them, and China's talking about trying to bring them to heel. They can always get if they have these nuclear warheads, they can always get all the cash they need from selling it to other rogue states like ISIS or Al Qaeda or somebody or some new Muslim terrorist group. So this is a real problem, and I don't think there's no easy solutions. Obviously, do we have Are you kidding? We have a comment from Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, the guy who...
This is a good deal for the United States. North Korea will freeze and then dismantle its nuclear program. South Korea and our other allies will be better protected. The entire world will be safer as we slow the spread of nuclear weapons.
That was what, 23 years ago, 1994, 23 years ago. How's that working out for you, Mr. President? You know, thank you for disarming North Korea, for removing the threat of nuclear. The same thing's going to happen in Iran. We're only just, 2 years since that's happened. So 21 years from now, we'll be in the same situation with Iran, probably. Maybe not even 21 years. Maybe 5 years from now.
A lot of people in the text line are saying this is just Iraq all over again. You know, are we going to see the Secretary of State in the UN with a PowerPoint presentation? I think we know North Korea has nuclear weapons. It was just intelligence that said that Saddam had them.
Yeah. And everybody agreed that that there were these weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And Saddam Hussein, the fact that he wouldn't allow the quote-unquote inspectors to come in to inspect, I mean, what are you supposed to think? You know, if somebody takes the Fifth Amendment, draw your own conclusions. If somebody's not going to let weapons inspectors in, draw your own conclusions, right? No, this is much more serious than anything in the Mideast. I mean, currently in the Mideast, and anything that's been in the Mideast in the last 20 years. I don't know how what there is to really talk about it. What are we supposed to do? I mean, I don't know what we can do other than pulverizing them. I mean, you can threaten them, and you can try to get China involved. I mean, that's what Nikki Haley's doing. Nikki Haley's doing a pretty good job as the UN ambassador. She seems to be bringing everybody along, but I think everybody, all the other nations are beginning to realize just how dire this threat is. I mean, this guy is nuts.
Could we just push aside the Geneva Convention against political assassinations and take this guy out? Couldn't you just drone the Imperial Palace, whatever it is in North Korea, where this guy and his generals sleep?
Yeah, but this is one of those things. If you strike, you better hit it. You better hit the guy. Because again, I mean, all he has to do is order that the bombing starts. The artillery starts shelling the U.S. Troops on the DMZ in Seoul, and how many hundreds of thousands of people would be killed? I think of all the refugees. I mean, again, I think there's 10 million people living in Seoul, plus our 30 or 40,000 troops who've been there as basically hostages. I mean, I've often wondered, I guess you can't do it for obvious reasons, but I mean, it would seem that they should have been trying to draw down the U.S. troops in South Korea. I mean, what can they really do? What can they do in this kind of situation? I mean, they're there as hostages, basically, hostages to a madman. And this guy is all coked up. He's killed all kinds of members of his own family. I mean, coke may be some of the lesser of the drugs he's on. I mean, he could be on any kind of crazy. He could be on meth. I mean, do you want
Hitler was
what?
Hitler was on meth.
It's not a drug that you want to be using in making good decisions. It's not something you use for good management. Let's see. Said you're not 20 million in Seoul. Says 978. I've been to the DMZ several times. The missile is 34 minutes from launch to arrival in Los Angeles. Well, that means, I mean, if it could get there, I don't, we don't know how, whether they can actually deliver it to the West Coast yet, but it certainly seems a lot closer than it was earlier. 844-500-4242. We'll take some calls on this when we come back, and we're going to we'll also talk about Trump and his alleged problems. I don't know anybody who said, well, that's it. I'm sorry I voted for Trump. I wish Hillary were president. Mitch McConnell said that the other day. They said, what did you feel like when you lost the vote on Obamacare? And he said, I always try to not get too up or down that's the best way to look at life in general. And he said, but I thought to myself, this is bad, but it could be worse. Hillary Clinton could be president. That's the way I look at it too. That's the way I look at everything. It's not that bad. Things are good. Things are good in the economy, aren't they? The illegal alien invasion has been stemmed. There's a lot of good news out there. 844, although you wouldn't hardly know it from reading the New York Times or the Washington Post or watching CNN. Fortunately, I don't read or watch any of those. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Hang on. The Howie Carr Show returns next.
Howie Carr here with Ronnie from Life Change Tea. Ronnie, Get the Tea has changed my life, but many of my listeners don't understand what Life Change Tea is. Can you tell them?
It's a wonderful tea. It detoxes you. Most people find the side effect for the first couple months is weight loss because we get stuff trapped in our colon. We don't get it out. We don't cleanse, and we feel yucky. So what you're going to start feeling is a lot of energy.
So you can lose some serious weight drinking Life Change Tea?
I lost 25 pounds drinking the tea in 3 months.
Wow. And it just makes you feel better, too.
When you're sick, all of a sudden, when you start taking natural things, boy, I tell you, the sickness starts going away.
I can attest to that, Ronnie. Where can people go to learn more and order Life Change Tea?
They can go to getthetea.com. I make it really simple because people will say, oh, geez, I need to get the tea. So getthetea.com. And we actually put a lot of information out there so you know what you're getting. It's not just a product, and then you go, wonder what this is for. All the stuff is explained right there on the website.
Getthetea.com.
This is the Real Deal Report with Jeff Deal, who led the successful grassroots effort to repeal automatic gas tax hikes.
I'm Jeff Deal, candidate for United States Senate. Illegal immigration is not only a public safety problem, but it's also costly for hardworking taxpayers. The Commonwealth spends an estimated $1.8 billion per year on taxpayer-funded benefits. Allowing sanctuary cities and failing to secure our borders will add to that burden. Senator Elizabeth Warren doesn't side with us. She doesn't deserve another 6 years. It's time for a new senator who will secure our borders, support the wall, and stand up for the taxpayers.
Help Jeff Deal defeat Elizabeth Warren. Go to dealforsenate.com. Paid for and authorized by Deal for U.S. Senate.
Hey, where you going? Where you going? We're going to Arnold's Clam Bar.
It's been named one of the all-time best seafood dives ever by Coastal Living magazine. While TripAdvisor, The Phantom Gourmet, and Rachel Ray all agree Arnold's is a must-visit when on Cape Cod. Arnold's boasts a full bar, a raw bar, and even a sandbar out on the mini golf course. Open daily at 11:30, it's Arnold's Lobster and Clam Bar on Route 6 in Eastham and at arnoldsrestaurant.com.
And now, 60 seconds of liberals freaking out over the election of Donald J. Trump.
Well, America is crying tonight. I'm not sure how much of America, but a very, very significant portion. And I mean literally crying.
Everybody is crying and so upset, and it is the end of their world.
Feels like the end of the world.
We were on Lifetime last night, and I was slowly getting drunk.
This is the time for real wisdom. Lightning round. I genuinely do not understand how America can be this disorganized or this hateful.
You know, she was Hillary Clinton, the most qualified candidate, the best suited for the job, the best temperament. Now we're hearing not a good candidate.
History is put on hold yet again.
They're scared, depressed, despaired, desperate even, almost clinging to me.
Plus the Supreme Court, who knows where that's going to go. So the only checks and balances we have are us, the View.
Trump derangement syndrome. It's a real thing, folks.
Many legislators claim to be for lower taxes and government transparency. But are they really? Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance keeps you informed by posting the voting records of our elected officials. You can log on to our website at massfiscal.org. Click Scorecard to see how your legislator is voting on Beacon Hill. And while you're there, make a donation. And be sure to join our email list so you can stay up to date with the latest information on what's happening at the State House with Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance.
Paid for by the Mass Fiscal Alliance, Rick Green, Chairman.
Hi, I'm Howie Carr, and I'm here with Rick Green of the Mass Fiscal Alliance. Wow, Mass Fiscal is really driving the Moonbats crazy.
Who knew putting voting records online would be so controversial? Many legislators claim to be for lower taxes and government transparency, but they sure don't vote that way.
Your group is just what this state needs. How can the listeners help you guys?
Just have them visit our website at www.massfiscal.org. They can join our email list and donate if they like. And of course, make sure they check out our scorecard to see how their legislators voted.
Paid for by the Mass Fiscal Alliance. Rick Green, Chairman.
Hi, folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms, that is, chemicals,
processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website, GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's GetTheTea.com.
Grace Curley is giving you her take on the news of the day. Read Grace's latest column at HowieCarrShow.com. This is the Howie Carr Show.
Today's poll question is brought to you by Cape Gunworks Range and Gun Shop. Looking for a fun activity on the Cape this summer? Check out their store and range in Hyannis, CapeGunworks.com. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Will Colin Kaepernick play in the NFL this year?
No, I don't think he will.
Up to 85% who say no, Colin's done this year.
Yeah. You'd have to be. I think you'd have to be crazy to hire the guy. It's just like it's like drinking poison. You know, he's just going to just screw up everything for you. All right, 844-500-4242. A texter says, no way you're sending my son to Korea. No one's talking about sending your son to Korea. There's already 30 or 40,000 people's sons over there already, you know? I mean, the question is, what's going to be done to deal with this problem? And somebody says that somebody is going to, one of the generals over there is going to get tired of this and he's going to get two in the hat. There have been 3 generations of these people. This is the 3rd generation. This is, he calls himself a dictator. I don't know, he calls himself the president or he's a dictator, but this is a dynasty now. This is like a royal family of 3 generations now. And I assume, they want to keep it going. So nobody's been able to knock these people off for, 70 years? What makes you think someone's going to get in there now? 844-500-4242. Doug, you're next with Howie Carr in the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, Howie, just a quick side point about this issue. The textures were talking about this is going to be just like Iraq with the chemical weapons.
Right.
And it always annoys me. You can't go back and relitigate that now. But the bottom line is, we knew that he did have the weapons because he used them on the Marsh Arabs in southern Iraq the year before.
And the Kurds before that, after the first Gulf War. Remember?
Yeah. So he, no question, he had them. And even after the war, they found various repositories, smaller numbers of chemical weapons.
Right.
And the liberals would always say, well, but they were old and rusty shells. Doesn't matter. They were still shells.
Right. And you remember that Karl Rove said, no, we can't release the fact that we found all these weapons. I mean, talk about a terrible tactical political decision, He didn't, as you said, he didn't want to relitigate the battle. But not relitigating it. He just, he just made it possible for them to put on their bumpers those stickers. Bush lied, people died. It was all BS, just like the Russia collusion investigation.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Thanks for the call, Doug. Jeff, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
Good.
I was listening to you and your co-host, and I heard he mention something about, would it defy the Geneva Convention if we bumped off Little Kim, that psychopath? Well, it doesn't really matter because America never signed the Geneva Convention.
Yeah.
We never agreed to any of those rules.
Yeah,
So
who cares
it
about
really
the Geneva
matter.
Convention anyway, I mean, this is you know, if he starts something, I mean, literally millions of people could die in overnight. I mean, this is I don't think that's an overstatement at all.
I know what we could do to maybe shake his own people up. Put out information over there that the Americans are terrified that he's going to nuke us, and we're all screaming, you know, that we want our president to do something now, do something first. And let that get back to his country, that the Americans are terrified that he's going to fire a rocket at us, and we're screaming for our leaders to they better do something.
I don't know what public opinion is really like in North Korea. Have you ever seen the pictures from the satellite photographs of North Korea at night? I mean, it's probably, you know, South Korea obviously is lights, everything is all lit up, and then you just get to that DMZ and all of a sudden there's no lights, there's hardly any lights at all, and then you go up to China and it's, you know, not as much electricity, but it's still like a modern country or somewhat modern country, but there's nothing going on in North Korea. It's like some kind of a medieval country before electricity. And it's just a very backward country. You know, look at how many years it took East Germany to kind of get integrated into West Germany after the Berlin Wall fell. I mean, it's going to take. Supposedly, if anything ever happens to North Korea and its regime is eradicated and South Korea takes over, it'll take a lot longer to bring the country back. I mean, it's because, I mean, again, South Korea is an advanced industrial economy. We'll keep going with this for a while. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
We have proven that we can actually be civil to each other. In fact, just before taking the dais, Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, "Pardon me." I know Hillary met my campaign manager, and I got the chance to meet the people who are working so hard to get her elected. There they are, the heads of NBC, CNN, CBS, ABC. There's the New York Times right over there, and the Washington Post. They're working overtime. True.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And like after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code TALK.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
If your home has hard water, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes, damaging your appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars each year. You can eliminate limescale in the entire house with HydroCare products available at Wave Home Solutions. Easy and efficient with no maintenance, no salts, no chemicals, and no coils. And you can buy with confidence from Wave Home Solutions. Performance guaranteed. Just go to bestwater411.com. That's bestwater411.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
In the center of the stage tonight, businessman Donald Trump.
I would never give up my microphone. I thought that was disgusting. That showed such weakness. The way he was taken away by two young women. The microphone, they just took the whole place over. That will never happen with me. I don't know if I'll do the fighting myself or if other people will. But that was a disgrace. The way I felt badly for him.
You're not supposed to say that somebody graduated last or second to last in their class, because you're supposed to be, like Frank says, very nice. Folks, I want to make America great again. We want to get down to brass tacks. We don't want to listen to his stuff with being politically correct and everything has... We have a lot of work to do.
This is the Howie Carr Show. Howie is saving you 50% off your favorite products and services. Howie's Cheap Bastard Deal. Thursdays at 3:30. Get to HowieCarrShow.com. Click deals. Now, back to Howie Carr.
They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He has been very threatening beyond a normal statement. And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
So I'm getting grief on the text line from people saying I'm a neocon, that I just, I want to, get American military killed in South Korea, defending Seoul. No, I mean, this is not Iraq. I mean, this is something different. Nobody wants a war. I mean, and by the way, the liberals, the alt-left media is going to be all over Trump tonight, saying that this is his red line. But he didn't draw a red line. He was just saying, knock it off. He didn't lay out any specific that you shouldn't, that they didn't go beyond. What was he supposed to do? I mean, obviously, he wouldn't have responded to the story if it was fake news. There's something to this, that they've made a lot more progress than we had been told was made. So what do you want to do about this? And again, I mean, okay, so they're going to forget the 30 or 40,000 U.S. military personnel there. You don't care about Seoul. You don't care about Japan, etc. What about? And you don't think they can really shoot a missile across the Pacific Ocean and hit one of the West Coast cities? You're not worried about any of that. Well, what is going to stop them from selling it to some Muslims? And they're going to use it to bring it in on like a cargo container, like in David Hunt's book. And just bring it in on a freighter or a tanker into New York Harbor, and then set it off. I mean, are you concerned about that? I mean, they're being squeezed. Even the Chinese, I don't know how effectively or how seriously they're imposing sanctions on their client state, North Korea. But I don't think they have as much freedom to operate as they used to have. So, but if you have cash, you can get anything. And by the way, if you think this is bad, North Korea has no money, and they've been able to do this. What is it going to be like with Iran, considering we gave them how many billions of dollars?
And Iran and North Korea are also very friendly.
For obvious reasons. Is John Kerry available? Can he go over there with James Taylor and they can sing a few songs, have a hootenanny, and he can talk about how a nuclear war would be really bad for the environment.
That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard.
Might hurt the polar bears. 844-500-4242. But of course, no one's blaming Bill Clinton for this. Just like in 5 or 10 or 20 years, no one's going to ever be blaming Kerry and Obama when we have come to face the same thing with Iran. Paul, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line.
Yes, thank you. I'll be short. I spent a year in Korea in 1959. My thought is get rid of North Korea dictator now, because it's only going to get worse later. And whatever happens to South Korea and Japan, just think what we did to help them after World War II.
Yeah, but Paul, how are you going to get rid of Kim Jong-un? I mean, that's the problem.
Bomb the hell out of them and all their missile places. Bomb the hell out of them. That's how you get rid of them. Quit playing around. It's just going to get worse if we wait any longer. And secondly, about the opioid problem, what the hell are we wasting all this money for, saving these dope heads and everything?
Narcan. I mean, well, there's a sheriff in Ohio who has said he's not going to administer Narcan to any more of the overdosing heroin addicts. But it's that's for another day, Paul. Thank you, though. If you could take the guy out, it would be that would have been done.
Well, you just have to admit that there are no good options. Yeah, it's not like there's one really good, super easy solution to a nuclear belligerent state.
Yeah, this isn't the Dominican Republic in 1961. You just got to stop a car in the middle of the road and set up a machine gun nest, and you take out Trujillo. That's not going to work here.
It's not like illegal immigration from the South where there's one really easy solution. Build the wall,
Ian, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Ian.
I wanted to actually say to bring up the Clintons, but you brought that up, and that to thank them, and to thank Bush and Obama, because now we are going to have Iran to deal with, and we got to deal with North Korea, like your last caller said, and if you let it fester, it would get worse, and they'll have more than 60 nukes, and this guy better understand. He's all happy and giddy. Look at him with his generals. He looked like Chris Christie at the Cowboys when they won, jumping up and down. Yeah. You launched a missile. You did nothing there, buddy. Wait until we send some tridents over your head. And trying to better understand something, you better have a mole or two in there and take this guy out. And then maybe you'll have some influence and you can deal with South Korea owning North Korea too. Because if we take it, we're going to give it to Japan or South Korea. So you better get some skin in the game, step up, take this little bastard out, because he is threatening the world, and the world will see the likes of which it has never seen, like Donald Trump said, if this kid launches something. And if the world thinks, I don't know if this guy's got kids or a wife, but it's very scary if he doesn't.
He's got a Jones.
Well hit. But if
that's
he
the
doesn't
big
want
thing.
to be a toast,
yeah,
he better, if he wants his family to live, and not end up like his uncle and his half brother, he better give up his nukes.
I think Ian, though, put his finger on it. This guy's killed members of his own family. You think he cares about anybody? No, he doesn't. What's so frustrating here, and you can hear it in Trump's voice, and Nikki Haley has to deal with it too at the UN. China is just sitting back and kind of chuckling, I think. They're not concerned about this because they know that we're the adult in the room. We're the ones who are going to have to deal with this because they don't give a bleep, basically. This is really a very it's quite. I guess no problem is ultimately intractable, but this comes pretty much as close as you ever get in this kind of situation, I think. Scott, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Scott.
Hi, Howie. How are you?
Hi. Good.
Good. Hey, this was a suggestion I heard on how to deal with North Korea, and it kind of goes back to nuclear diplomacy 101. It's kind of like the NATO doctrine in reverse. The NATO doctrine being an attack on one member is considered to be an attack on all.
Right.
This would be any attack from North Korea shall be considered to be an attack from China, and a full retaliatory response.
Well, then it's World War III, Scott. I mean, do you really want that?
We can't have. We're not going to get the concept of a deterrent just against North Korea, but it will work with China.
Yeah, but that means that wait, Scott. Though that means that China has North Korea's back. If we lay down that.
On a leash. They also have them on a leash. North Korea might be a rabid pit bull, but they're on China's leash. China has to be held accountable. If there's an attack from North Korea on the United States or allies, China has got to know that we're going to hit them back because it's their fault.
Yeah. I can't see that, Scott. I mean, that's like saying, if the Taliban had an alliance with Russia, if Taliban attacked New York City, we would go after Russia. It's not. I mean, that would make the problem even worse. It's you can't. Look at how we fell into World War I. I mean, it started out as a simple problem, a single assassination in the Balkans. And when it was over, 20 million people were dead. You just can't have that kind of that would be a red line, and the red line would be in blood. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Don't move. Howie Carr is back. Next.
Howie Carr here. Have you looked in the mirror lately? When you see your smile, what do you think? If you're like most people, you probably wish you had whiter teeth or teeth that weren't crooked. And then you think fixing those problems will take years and will cost you more than you can afford and will likely be painful. Well, I've got good news for you. You can have a perfect smile in as few as just 3 visits to Dr. Houghton at Perfect Smiles in Nashua, New Hampshire. Using state-of-the-art cosmetic dentistry, Dr. Houghton will work with you to design the smile you want. In as little as 4 weeks from your initial visit, you'll have perfectly straight teeth and they'll shine a vibrant white. And your new perfect smile could cost you less than $100 a week. See? You can afford it. No pain, no more annoying white strips, no extractions or braces. Just a perfect smile that will make you want to look in the mirror more often. I have a perfect smile from Dr. Houghton, and now the mailroom manager does too. Now it's your turn. Go to perfectsmiles.com for more information. That's perfectsmiles.com.
When our military members enlist, they embark on a mission of protection and service to a nation and people they love. When returning home from that mission, things don't always go as planned. And at any given time, there are over 50,000 veterans homeless in America. The DV Farm in Gilsum, New Hampshire is giving some of these veterans a second chance at a new mission, integrating back into society. But the DV Farm receives no state or federal funding. It survives solely on your donations. Please support our nation's heroes by giving a tax-deductible donation at dvfarm.org. That's dvfarm.org. One homeless veteran is too many. Let's complete this mission together. And now, 6 fun facts in 60 seconds with Grace.
As you may have heard, this summer while we're busy supplying New England with our wicked awesome Maine-made windows, we here at Matthews Brothers are also giving away 10 wicked awesome fishing trips with the one and only Captain Dave Marciano aboard the functional yet stylish fishing vessel Hard Merchandise. And all you have to do to qualify is follow us on Facebook. Well, Mr. Man, thanks to Captain Dave, we're now friends with people from exotic, faraway places with strange-sounding names like Uzbekistan, Morocco, and Midlothian, Virginia. We don't like to brag, but one of our new friends is a Nigerian prince who's about to send us a large sum of money after we send him just one more deposit. And the single thing that bonds us all together is our undying passion for good old Matthews Brothers and the 163-year-old tradition of providing not only wicked awesome Maine-made windows, but more importantly, our trademark wow customer service. Seriously, it's actually trademark. You can learn more than you ever thought you'd want to know about windows and everything Matthews, including how you can win one of 10 trips with America's favorite captain, but only at Better Lumberyards and Window Professionals, or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with 1T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
But who really needs more stuff? Let's be honest, between Christmas and the New Year, it's hard to come up with a nice way to give a great gift without just regifting that old fruitcake. But luckily, we have the perfect gift idea for you. It's the Howie Carr Show VIP Experience. If someone you know is a fan of Howard Lawrence Carr, then this is the perfect way to celebrate any occasion. Come visit Howie in our brand new studio and watch the entire show. Best part? Well, if you were to ask Howie, he'd probably say the Kowloon. And I can't really disagree. But there is also no other way to see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into New England's favorite radio show. Get your picture with Howie and a selfie with yours truly. We've had over 100 people enjoy the VIP experience, and the reviews have been stellar. We've even had the occasional guest on air to tell their own funny story to the listeners. So don't delay and buy your VIP experience today at HowieCarrshow.com. Click store. HowieCarrshow.com. Click store.
PatriotPrepared.com carries the leading brands of storable food from Numanna, Legacy, and Heaven's Harvest. Patriot Prepared. Our name says it all. We're dedicated to empowering you to be self-reliant and confident in any circumstance. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, PatriotPrepared.com has prepackaged meals and kits for your entire family. Legacy, Heaven's Harvest, and Numanna are known for high-quality, great-tasting GMO-free, nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. Simple to prepare, easy to store, gluten-free and organic high-quality nutrition options with a 25-year shelf life. You can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. So go to PatriotPrepared.com right now to pick up your supply of high-quality storable food for your family, because it makes good sense to be prepared. That's PatriotPrepared.com.
844-500-4242. This is the Howie Carr Show.
This half hour of the Howie Carr Show is powered by General Communications. Not all cloud-based business telephone systems are created equal. Call 1-800-4-GENERAL or click on the General Communications ad at HowieCarrshow.com. Glenn Campbell will not be down for breakfast. He was in the death pool. We have a winner in the death pool, so we'll be doing the death pool probably sometime next week. I don't like to do it too often, so I think it'll be sometime next week when we do the death pool. But we do have a winner, Glenn Campbell. Unfortunately, great musical talent, one of the great musicians of his generation. I think that's safe to say. He was one of the few guys who played in the Beach Boys in the recording studios and on stage as well. But then he had his own great solo career, an actor, had his TV variety show. You know his background. 844-500-4242. What should we do about North Korea? What has to be done? I mean, something's got to be done. Apparently, everybody's just been kicking it down the road. Bill Clinton, this is really his fault. Although you're never going to hear anybody tonight on MSNBC or CNN say that. I mean, they know it. You and I know it. Everybody knows that this was a terrible, terrible deal that he cut to let them get away with building their nuclear weapons. This is what has brought us to this pass that we're in, or this impasse that we're in now. And but nobody's going to talk about it because he's a Democrat and he's PC, and they want to protect his reputation. But someone has to clean up this mess, and there are no easy solutions. I mean, just talking about bombing them. I mean, again, even if you could kill him, or even if you could take out the nuclear weapons, I mean, what are you going to do with all those? Probably, I don't know how many troops he's got on the border, but they say that he's got more artillery than any army in the world. And all the guns are aimed at our troops on the DMZ and at Seoul, with more than 10 million people in Seoul, South Korea. So even if you took him out, even if you chopped off the head of the snake and you got the nukes out, I mean, you still have to deal with the conventional weapons. And people are saying, oh well, they've been in power for all these generations, and he's worshipped as a deity and all that stuff. they're not eating regularly. They don't have they don't have electricity. You're better off in most parts of Africa than you are in North Korea. I don't think there's a lot of love out there for Kim Jong Un, but you just have to disarm them before you can civilize them. And how do you do that?
There's a story in the New York Times that came out in March. The headline was "Trump Inherits Secret Obama War Against North Korean Nuclear Weapons." And in hindsight, the entire thing was just a big puff piece to try and explain why North Korea's current status shouldn't weigh down Obama's legacy. Because it made it look like he was some, CIA spook who was, infiltrating the North Korea's nuclear program, and they'd never get a nuclear missile because of him.
Yeah, right. What was his secret plan? Take out Kim Jong Un. Yeah, that's a good plan. That's a good plan.
I guess
how are you going to implement the plan?
His plan was to get into the supply chain for their missiles and put defunct parts into their rockets so that they'd blow up right off the launch pad. But obviously, they didn't. It's not as successful as the New York Times said it was.
It's as successful as the Red Line threat was in Syria. James, you're next, or Fast and Furious, for instance. James, you're next with Howie Carr in the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, James.
Thank you, Howie. I wanted to say I've been a fan since your early columns. Was it the Herald Traveler?
Yeah, no, I don't go quite that far back. The Herald American, James. Yes, thank you.
Herald American, yes. Always been a fan. The solution is simple. We make China do the work, and the way we do that is we give them an incentive. We take a few multiple warhead-tipped missiles, put them in South Korea, take a few more and put them in Japan. That is China's biggest nightmare. And we tell them, okay, it's your job, clean it up, take him out, and get the nukes out of there.
But I mean, what's the point? How is that a deterrent?
Well, it's not a deterrent. We make a deal with China. We place the nukes in South Korea and Japan, which they could be launched from there to North Korea. But the point is, China would be deathly against that, against having our nukes on their doorstep. And that would incentivize them to get rid of Kim Jong-un and get rid of the nukes in North Korea.
Yeah, they're talking now about, they have this treaty.
Do this.
We have a treaty with Japan, and they're not supposed to have more than X number of soldiers in their military, and they're not supposed to have nuclear weapons. And now they're talking about amending the treaty or just doing away with the treaty and letting them have nuclear weapons. But I mean, obviously, that process would take years and years. And apparently, if these latest reports are true, we don't have years and years. And I understand people are leery of this. What are we just came up on the anniversary of the Gulf of Tonkin. With the excuse, the alleged attack on our destroyers off of Vietnam that was used as an excuse to begin the escalation in Vietnam. We have the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. I understand all that, but You can't bury your head in the sand and pretend that the fact that a madman has these nuclear weapons and he may be on the verge of getting away to actually set them off and cause millions of casualties. You can't treat that lightly. You've got to work. I mean, you can't start a war immediately, but you got to start making contingency plans. I'm sure they have contingency plans. It's just which contingency plan are you going to use? I'm sure they presented several different strategies or tactical plans to Trump. Victoria, you're next with Howie Carr in the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Victoria.
Oh, hi, Howie. Thanks for taking my call. I'm at my wit's end about trying to resolve this, but what I'm thinking is China doesn't want the Koreas unified. They want a buffer state. So after consulting with China and our allies, why don't we let China have North Korea as if it were Hong Kong in exchange for getting rid of the Kim regime and installing a leader of China's liking, a puppet? And there are no good options, but this is the best one I could think of.
Do you think, I mean, is that a good deal for China, though? That would be kind of like us taking Haiti, wouldn't it? I mean, what would be in it for China? It would just be a drain on their resources, wouldn't it? I mean, given the fact that North Korea has basically regressed into the Middle Ages, or maybe even the back before that.
I mean, they've also got 20,000 people in death camps who would be a big welfare state, don't you think?
That's what I mean. Does China need that kind of headache? I mean, that's like, we just been talking about Colin Kaepernick. Who's taking Colin Kaepernick? You know, why would China want North Korea? Thanks for the call, Victoria. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And I've known Hillary for a long time. This is the first time ever, that Hillary is sitting down and speaking to major corporate leaders and not getting paid for it. We've learned so much from WikiLeaks. For example, Hillary believes that it's vital to deceive the people by having one public policy and a totally different policy in private. Now, I'm told Hillary went to confession before tonight's event. But the priest was having a hard time when he asked her about her sins, and she said she couldn't remember 39 times.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
The Howie Carr Show continues next. We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And I've known Hillary for a long time. This is the first time ever, that Hillary is sitting down and speaking to major corporate leaders and not getting paid for it. We've learned so much from WikiLeaks. For example, Hillary believes that it's vital to deceive the people by having one public policy and a totally different policy in private. Now, I'm told Hillary went to confession before tonight's event. But the priest was having a hard time when he asked her about her sins, and she said she couldn't remember 39 times.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And by the way, they're coming from all over the world, including the Middle East. Why not? Come on in. We're stupid, we'll take care of you, we'll pay. Get sick, we'll take care of your hospitalization. What kind of a plan do you want? Oh, Don, you're a little controversial. You're talking about illegal immigration. I said it's illegal. The premiums are going through the roof. The deductibles, frankly, you have to get hit with a Komatsu tractor in order to use them. They're so high. The Iranians are great negotiators. The Persians are great negotiators. And we have people that are babies. It's like a chess player, grandmaster, playing against a checkers child. We have very stupid people in our country negotiating for us, and we have leaders that don't know what they're doing. And the media, look at all those people back there. Scavengers. They're like scavengers.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Would odors, mold, and mildew describe your basement or crawl space? It doesn't have to be that way. Transform them into a fresh, healthy, usable one with the technologically advanced Wave moisture control units. The computerized operation maximizes moisture control and also expels harmful radon, combustion gases, and numerous other pollutants. Dehumidifiers are old technology that do nothing for air quality and waste energy. Wave units are intelligent, self-monitoring, do not need maintenance, and will save you hundreds in electricity. Wave units are still running effectively over 15 years. They've been tested and installed in public and military housing and by property managers nationwide. Buy a unit now, and if your home is not fresher and drier, you can return it for a full refund for up to 12 months. What have you got to lose? Call now. 1-888-618-WAVE. 1-888-618-WAVE. Or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
She got kicked off the Watergate Commission. How corrupt you have to be to get kicked off the Watergate Commission. Everyone knows, of course, Hillary's belief that it takes a village, which only makes sense, after all, in places like Haiti, where she's taken a number of them. I wasn't really sure if Hillary was going to be here tonight, because I guess you didn't send her invitation by email. Or maybe you did, and she just found out about it through the wonder of WikiLeaks.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 8.
Obama's birthday is now an official holiday in Illinois. It's Obama Day. So that got me wondering, how are we supposed to celebrate Obama Day? Should we strap on some mom jeans and insult our neighborhood police officers? Should we eat a big arugula salad while we mock bitter-clinging Bible thumpers? Or maybe we should just quit our jobs, sign up for Obama phones, and get on welfare and food stamps. The possibilities are endless.
Live from an undisclosed location.
One of the most famous men in New England.
Conservative radio host Howie Carr.
The legendary Howie.
Who do you love?
We love Howie Carr.
Howie Carr.
Howie Carr. We love you, Howie.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
How classic is it? Here's Illinois on the verge of bankruptcy. story has just come out this week that they have 63,000 state workers in Illinois that are making over $100,000 a year. Talk about the hackorama. And now they've decided to have an August holiday. I mean, that's always the dream of the hackorama in all 50 states, to have the August holiday. You know, like they used to.
All 57 states.
Excuse me. Yeah, considering it's for Obama, all 57 states. But you know, Rhode Island had the August holiday, and VJ Day they call it. Now I think they call it Earth Day or something, because it's just politically incorrect to have a holiday celebrating basically the incineration of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. But you know, they couldn't decommission a paid holiday for state workers. So now Illinois has got one too. They wanted to. Various states have suggested different August holidays for state workers. I think that around here they said that their Women's Suffrage Day, that was suggested as a state holiday. And then I think there was some kind of a Declaration of Independence in the Berkshires. I don't know. I can't remember now. But that was a trial balloon that was floated several years ago here in Massachusetts.
Do men get the day off on Women's Suffrage Day? That would seem inappropriate.
How about Elvis Day? That'd be our Drug Abuse Awareness Day, the day Elvis died. The key though is just having an August holiday, and so why not? Why not? I mean, but why does Obama need a day off? I mean, his life has been a day off. Most of his supporters, their lives have been days off. You know, I mean, what's the point other than having the holiday? So there it is, and we're gonna talk about this a little bit later on, but I think that we should remember some of his great moments. Like the one that just came up recently was we can't drill our way to to energy independence. We can't. I believe we just have. We just have. Time now for the Chump Line, the voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show.
This North Korean nuclear deal will be a bargain. Would that it were.
Yeah. Why isn't someone chasing Bill Clinton through the streets somewhere, asking him for a comment on this? Oh, that's right. He's a Democrat.
Hello. Thank you for calling the diversity department at Google. If you're African American, press 1. If you're Muslim, press 2. If you're an intersexual feminist, press 3. If you're white, please hang up.
Yeah, if you're white, just hang on the line until the security officers can arrive and escort you from the campus.
Grace, don't let Sweaty Steve make sport of you. He only knows about 3 things: Harry Potter, Susan Collins, and how to cook roadkill. He's just a backwoods bumpkin bully from Bedoin.
From where?
Bedoin. He doesn't know how to pronounce Bowdoin.
Oh, or maybe he was making sport of you more. I didn't even get it.
Hi, Howie. Governor Patrick calling. There you go again, making sport of those wonderful sunset photos on local television. The only reason you hate those is because you're pushing 80 and you don't have many sunsets left. Heck, even green bananas are a bad investment for you, you geezer. We're gonna be fine.
Ouch.
I'm not anywhere near 80 years old. If I were 80 years old, I would still be watching local news. There are very few people left under the age of 80 who are watching local news. Governor Patrick, how's the campaign coming along?
Yikes. Grace doesn't know where cheese comes from? That explains why my Trump line gems don't get on the show.
Grace must be feeling the heat. She put that one through.
Lovey, I still can't get over that deplorable Ginger's car going to that shooting range. Allowing that studio gangster to shoot a gun is like letting a monkey fly an airplane. Most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Or it's like a Secretary of State deciding to set out a coup attempt in Egypt on board the Isabella off of Nantucket. Oh, I did that, didn't I?
Baby, Howie Carr, baby. Well, I know that women aren't as good as swimmers as men.
Yeah. You know Ted Kennedy taught all the younger Kennedys how to swim? The first thing you do is you open the car door. I heard that joke down on the Cape over the weekend. I'd heard that before, but I'd forgotten it.
The more I hear about this whole Google thing, the more I wonder why can't people understand that there are psychological and physiological differences between males and females. I mean, you wouldn't expect to get milk from a bull, would you? Come on, open your eyes, dummy.
Was that directed to anyone in particular here in the studio?
What? New eye patches? That's pirate discrimination, that there is.
It's against the differently abled. The Chump Line, by the way, is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, whose Maine-made windows are available only through better lumber yards and window professionals like H.J. Bushka & Sons Lumber Company, a family-owned local source for quality building products, superior service, and competitive pricing, serving all of Central Connecticut from our Naugatuck location. H.J. Bushka & Sons.
Has anybody been following the news closely? Mr. Trump's on vacation. Mr. Putin's on vacation. Oh, baby, we got a problem.
It's always good to hear from a viewer of MSNBC. Comrade Chris and Rachel Maddow are on the story.
I am a dead man in the county. I won't be down for breakfast.
Yes, to repeat, Glenn Campbell is assuming room temperature at the age of 81. He was in the death pool. We'll have another death pool probably next week sometime.
Hey, Howie, Nunzio here out in Western Mass. I just ran into Dennis Rodman down at the Basketball Hall of Fame, and he said, if the price is right, he'd be willing to go over there and talk to his bud and get this stuff all squared away. Bon appetit.
Yeah, a lot of people were mentioning that on the text line. Dennis Rodman, he's good buddies with Kim Jong-un. I mean, that tells you something about Kim's mental stability right there, doesn't it?
That was your last Chump Line message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr, you chump.
All right, that's it for the Chump Line today. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. You can call and leave a message at any hour of the day or night. We may or may not play your message at this time each weekday. The Chump Line number, 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the Chump Line. Leave your message. We may or may not play it at this time each weekday. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, whose Maine-made windows are available only through better lumber yards and window professionals like H.J. Bushka & Sons Lumber Company, a family-owned local source for quality building products, superior service, and competitive pricing, serving all of Central Connecticut from our Naugatuck location. H.J. Bushka & Sons.
The more I hear about this whole Google thing, the more I wonder why can't people understand that there are psychological and physiological differences between males and females. I mean, you wouldn't expect to get milk from a bull, would you? Come on, open your eyes, dummy.
If you weren't listening yesterday, you should know that Grace was shocked yesterday to find out that only cows can give milk. She thought that bulls apparently could give milk too. Now she's coming out to explain. How are you going to explain it, Grace?
I'm not going to explain it. I don't feel bad about this. This was an honest mistake. And I don't feel bad. And a lot of people tweeted me and said that they didn't know either. So I'm glad that I helped people out.
Oh, that's got to be fake news. Show me the tweet. Show me the tweet of the single person who said that they also.
I didn't see.
That.
I read these texts all day long, and I didn't see a single text about.
Maybe people didn't text in because they were afraid you were going to bully them, like you bullied me.
Bully?
Hashtag bully.
Bully? Beg your pardon. I'm Mr. PC. I'm an Alan Alda type of guy.
She's going to give you the Google Manifesto treatment.
I'm Howie Carr.
The Howie Carr Show.
Did you know this? Summer is burglary season. Every summer, burglary rates spike according to the Department of Justice. It's a domino effect. You go on vacation or you spend the day away at the beach. Your home's empty. Burglars see the signs you're not home. No cars in the driveway. No lights on inside. It's an open invitation for a break-in. This is why my friends at Simply Safe Home Security have extended their biggest ever summer sale until August 13th. It's a whopping $100 off Simply Safe's special summer package. I handpicked this system myself. It has everything you need to keep your home safe from intruders. Simply Safe's around-the-clock monitoring is just $15 a month. There's no long-term contract, nothing to lock you in. It's protection done right. Don't miss out. This sale ends August 13th, and these systems are flying off the shelves. Go to simplysafehowie.com. You'll save $100 today. That's simplysafehowie.com to get your $100 off. simplysafehowie.com.
This is the Real Deal Report with Jeff Deal, who led the successful grassroots effort to repeal automatic gas tax hikes.
I'm Jeff Deal, candidate for United States Senate. Illegal immigration is not only a public safety problem, but it's also costly for hardworking taxpayers. The Commonwealth spends an estimated $1.8 billion per year on taxpayer-funded benefits. Allowing sanctuary cities and failing to secure our borders will add to that burden. Senator Elizabeth Warren doesn't side with us. She doesn't deserve another 6 years. It's time for a new senator who will secure our borders, support the wall, and stand up for the taxpayers.
Help Jeff Deal defeat Elizabeth Warren. Go to dealforsenate.com. Paid for and authorized by Deal for U.S. Senate.
Cape Gunworks is family friendly. Need a break from the beach and miniature golf? Head to Cape Gunworks with the family. Special packages are available and all kids aged 10 and over are welcome to shoot at Cape Gunworks. Father and son, mom and dad, or even father and daughter like I've done. Cape Gunworks is a great time. The sun is great, but take a break and head to Cape Gunworks. Don't forget ladies' nights on Thursday and date night on Fridays. Cape Gunworks at 96 Airport Road, Hyannis. CapeGunworks.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And the poll just came out, and I'm tied with Jeb Bush. And I said, oh, that's too bad. How can I be tied with this guy? He's terrible. He's terrible. So Uma is getting classified secrets. She's married to Anthony Weiner, who's a perv. No, he is. I beat the people from China. I win against China. You can win against China if you're smart. But our people don't have a clue. And then the next day, he'll be called by special interests that supported him, his lobbyists who push him around like a piece of candy. We have heads being chopped off because they're Christian in the Middle East. We have borders where people are being killed all up. The world is cracking up, and they're worried about my tone.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hi, this is Andrea from Ever So Humble Pie Company in East Walpole. Well, it's that time of year when comfort food is king. And now, in addition to our delectable dessert pies, we're offering home-style classics like chicken pot pie, shepherd's pie, and Canadian meat pie. Simply turn on your oven and you'll have a wholesome, hearty meal. Pick up a fruit pie while you're here, and you've got dinner and dessert from Ever So Humble Pie Company. For more information, call us at 508-660-9731 or visit us at eversohumble.com. That's eversohumble.com.
It's here, Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Kennedy Babylon is a whirlwind tour of scandals from the days of the Kennedy clan's rabidly anti-Semitic patriarch to the death of JFK Jr. Ann Coulter says Howie Carr is making Kennedy books great again. You'll love the never-before-seen images of the Kennedy family in Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Now shipping. Order today at HowieCarrshow.com. Click Kennedy Babylon.
Hi, this is Howie Carr, attorney at law. Are you a white male who voted for Donald Trump? Do you have a Make America Great sweatshirt or a hat? Have you had a beer since November the 8th? If you answered yes to one or more of the above questions, there's a good chance that you are soon going to be charged with committing a fake hate crime. Will you be ready, you uneducated redneck, when you get charged with committing a fake hate crime? Will you be ready? You need reasonable doubt at a reasonable price. And that's where Howie Carr, attorney at law, Esquire, comes in. Call me at 1-800-FAKE-HRC. 1-800-FAKE-HRC. And we will get you some legal insurance for when it inevitably occurs and you're charged with a fake hate crime.
Want more Howie Carr? Listen 24/7 online at HowieCarrShow.com. Now, back to Howie Carr.
Today's poll question is brought to you by Cape Gunworks Range and Gun Shop. Looking for a fun activity on the Cape this summer? Check out their store and range in Hyannis. CapeGunworks.com. It's a great place. Grace and I enjoyed our visit there last Friday. What's the poll question, Steve, and what are the results thus far?
Will Colin Kaepernick play in the NFL this year?
I think not, no.
Holding strong at 85% who say no.
85%. Okay. Dreamers in the news. Drug raids in Springfield yield over $1.3 million worth of raw heroin, 6 firearms, and 10 arrests. City, state, and federal law enforcement personnel raided 4 city locations early yesterday, arresting 10 men and seizing enough raw heroin to fill more than 450,000 bags. They also found 6 firearms and 4 motor vehicles. One of the primary targets was named Josue Pujols, Josue. Also arrested at that house were Astrun Pujols, Miguel Sanchez, and this guy Josue Pujols. Arrested at a nearby location were Elvis Pujols. Elvis!
I thought he was dead.
Elvis Pujols. He was arrested at Heartbreak Hotel. No. And another guy named, listen to this name, Harlem Cyprian. Harlem Cyprian? Must be Dutch. And then some residents of Queens, New York, who just happened to be visiting. Yankee, Y-A-N-K-E-Y, Cyprian. Yankee, Harlem Cyprian and Yankee Cyprian. And then Edward Cyprian. And Frankie Musquea. And Richard Capron from the Bronx. And then they went to another place and they arrested a guy named Fausto Pujols, who was charged with trafficking heroin over 200 grams. Dreamers in the news. Part 2. Man in ICE custody charged with 6 robberies in Chicago suburbs. A man who has been deported from the U.S. twice was indicted last week for 6 robberies in Chicago and several suburbs since December. Jose Cruz Morales Cortez was indicted on 6 counts of robbery. He was deported in 2004 and again in 2016. He was caught in the country again on January 20th, 2017, Inauguration Day. You know what he was robbing at gunpoint, Steve?
I'm going to go on a limb and say a CVS.
Mexican restaurants.
No! To talk about friendly fire.
Is there no honor among illegal aliens?
That's outrageous. I'm surprised MS-13 didn't deport them himself.
He held up the El Coyote in Alsip, the El Chisme Express in Chicago, the Taqueria Los Galos on Archer Avenue, the Nuevo Mexico in Des Plaines, the El Mariachi in Lansing, and Tacos and Burritos Rancho Grande in Lansing.
This kind of sounds like it's a hate crime, a string of vicious hate crimes targeting the Hispanic community.
But he didn't hit a single Taco Bell or Chipotle.
You know what I think? I think he didn't know how to say "give me the money or I'll shoot you" in English. So he wanted to go someplace where he was assured that they would speak Spanish.
He had only been living here illegally for 13 years. So you wouldn't expect him to know English. What was the point? Shortage of farm workers leaving entire fields in California, other states to rot. According to Pew Research Center, more Mexican immigrants are now leaving the U.S. than arriving. I'm not buying that, but they say that in California, the labor shortage is so severe they've had to leave entire fields of vegetables unharvested. In just 2 counties in California, that's led to a loss of more than $13 million. But listen to this. We told you yesterday the wages to construction workers in Texas has risen as the illegals disappear. Same thing is happening in California in the farms, the industrial agricultural operations. Farmers are now paying well above minimum wage, offering 401k plans. 401k plans. Paid time off and other incentives to try to lure workers back to the fields. They are also calling on politicians to pass laws to allow guest visa programs during harvest times. Man died defending gay friends from illegal alien shooter who went on homophobic rant, witnesses say. 22-year-old Juan Javier Cruz was killed Sunday, this is Palm Beach County, after defending his friends from a man who went on a homophobic rant. The suspect, 48-year-old Nelson Hernandez Mena, said he had 10 to 15 to 20 beers, excuse me. I'm going to guess that he lacked the enzyme to metabolize the alcohol. And that's why he went on his homophobic rant.
You're just 15 to 20 cerveza, Howie. Come on.
Did he put the limes in the bottles like he's supposed to? Mena, the illegal, said, "If we were in my country, I'd kill all of you rats. I hate you damned gays. I'm going to kill you all here." Cruz stuck up for his friends who were gay, but Nelson allegedly pulled out a handgun and opened fire, striking him and another male. Cruz died. Doesn't say what his country was, though. Just says that if he had been in the country, that's what he would have. Well, I guess he's, he did what he did in this country, what he would have done in his own country.
He's going to be charged with impersonating a Muslim terrorist.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. And it happened in the same state as the Pulse nightclub, right? 844-500-4242. When we come back, Grace will give you her take on the news. I'm Howie Carr.
And now, 6 fun facts in 60 seconds with Grace Curley.
In 2006, an Australian man tried to sell New Zealand on eBay. The price rose to $3,000 before eBay shut it down. Reed Hastings was inspired to start Netflix after racking up a $40 late fee on a VHS copy of Apollo 13. In Japan, letting a sumo wrestler make your baby cry is considered good luck. The 50-star American flag was designed by an Ohio high school student for a class project. His teacher originally gave him a B-. According to the National Insurance Crime Bureau, the most commonly stolen vehicle in 2012 was the 1994 Honda Accord. The Arkansas School for the Deaf's nickname is the Leopards, the Deaf Leopards.
This has been 6 fun facts with Grace Curley in 60 seconds. Check out Grace's latest posts, pictures, and tweets at HowieCarrShow.com.
Hey there, quick question for you. Would you be okay with more energy, more endurance, thicker, healthier hair, a better mood, reduced appearance of wrinkles, improved sleep, improved blood pressure and cholesterol profiles, improved vision, improved memory? Okay then. Well now, have you heard of Nature's Youth RSF? It's from the anti-aging experts at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. See, at Nature's Youth, they understand exactly what it means to provide top quality health products. And Nature's Youth customers not only improve their health, they know they're also providing their body with the right nourishment to maintain that peak performance and fight the aging process. If health, wellness, and nutrition are what you desire, choose Nature's Youth RSF. I did. You see, you're going to get older. It's just up to you how you feel when you get there. Get started today. Nature's Youth RSF. Simple to use, simple to order. Go to nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com.
Hi, folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms, that is, chemicals,
processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website, GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's GetTheTea.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
It's great to be here with 1,000 wonderful people, or as I call it, a small, intimate dinner with some friends. Or as Hillary calls it, her largest crowd of the season. I have no doubt that Hillary is going to laugh quite a bit tonight, sometimes even at an appropriate moment. You know, last night I called Hillary a nasty woman. But this stuff is all relative. After listening to Hillary rattle on and on and on, I don't think so badly of Rosie O'Donnell anymore.
This is the Howie Carr Show. You've listened to him for years. Now watch him in HD. Click on the Howie Cam at HowieCarrShow.com. This is the Howie Carr Show.
One of the texters says that Mexican in Palm Beach County didn't get a bad ice cube, he got a bad lime in those 15 to 20 beers that he had. Okay, so Grace has got some stories that she wants to update us on today.
I do, Howie. I want to start with this story out of New York. I guess a bunch of people last night dressed up as Russians, or the Russian army, and they went out to the Trump Soho, and they stood in front of it, and they started blasting the Russian national anthem, and they started tweeting at Trump, and they started putting up pictures of Vladimir Putin, like on a projection screen on the hotel. And it was...
How dumb are they?
Very, very dumb.
Do they really still... I mean, even Rachel Maddow was like, not talking about this every night.
They also put up signs that said, "Happy to help, bro. Follow the money." And laundering services available.
Laundering? So whatever happened to collusion?
No, they're changing it up. Laundering
it's
now.
Laundering.
We don't know how many things there could have been, Howie. It could be anything. The list goes on and on.
Okay. Laundering.
Laundering is the new thing. I also want to tell you that I know that you're not a big fan of Mayor de Blasio.
No.
But it turns out you guys have a lot in common.
Really?
Go on.
Because he naps at work occasionally, and Howie occasionally nods off at his desk.
Yeah.
It's happened,
I'm so
Steve.
tired. So sleepy.
I am. I do get sleepy sometimes.
But let me tell you this story, Howie, because you're going to love it. So I guess he likes to work out, and because...
But he nods off because he smokes weed.
Yeah, that's what I think this is.
This is different.
Getting the sleepies in the morning because he was ripping bongs with his wife.
No, that's not what he says. He says that his daily exercise routine at a Brooklyn gym often leaves him too tuckered out, which I love that word, tuckered out, to stay awake at City Hall. His former aides say...
Why does he not have any meetings scheduled till like 11 in the morning?
Yeah, and I think his workout routine is about as rigorous as Barack Obama's. He's got those pink girly weights the size of the ones Grace has back here, and he's straining to curl them.
Yeah, his
those are 10-pounders, aren't they? 7?
No, his exercise routine is get the easy widers out, put it down, take out the baggie, drop it in, make sure the
you look
seeds
like you've
and
done
the
that
stems.
before, Howie.
He says this is what they say, though. The sources for this are really, really interesting. They say he would arrive at 10 a.m. after working out and then would be napping. One source recalled him snoozing away.
There's a difference between napping and nodding off, Grace, by the way.
Well, he would cover his face with a newspaper.
Pray tell, what is the difference between de Blasio's napping and your nodding off?
Yeah.
I sometimes work late at my home, and I don't get much sleep, or the dog wakes me up, or does something bad in the bed, and I have to get up. And I
what?
Okay, well, when de Blasio infamously was late for the 2014 memorial ceremony for the people killed in the American Airlines Flight 587, his excuse was, I had a very rough night. I woke up sluggish and I should have gotten myself moving quicker. I got a call at 5 in the morning and threw off my sleep cycle. So this has happened to him numerous times where he said, oh, I'm a night owl. Oh, I stay up late. Oh, I have a lot of meetings. AKA what you're saying right now.
He got some laced weed or something. That's a bad night for de Blasio.
Oh, and I guess he was falling asleep so much during his 2009 campaign that the people working for him were really mad. And so they eventually said, for crying out loud, it's a campaign. We're not sleeping. Stop taking naps in the middle of the day. He goes into work and is very open about it. He says, I'm going to take a couple calls and then I'm taking a nap, so don't bother me.
I'm so tired. So sleepy.
He said they can't get anything done because he's napping all the time. Oh, he's handing me something. Exeter man charged with stealing girls' underwear, leaving pornographic photos. You wanted me to read this, Howie? An Exeter man has been arrested for allegedly breaking into a girl's home, stealing her underwear, and leaving adult pornographic photographs in her bedroom, toy box, and dresser drawers. Jason Robinson.
Robinson?
Any relation? Oh, is that what we're getting at?
Robinson?
Is this a relative of
There's
yours?
no relation there.
But he is from Maine.
Do you know this gentleman?
I went to high school with him. He was in his locker was right next to mine.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Really?
He actually
did he leave pornographic materials in your? Did he steal your underwear?
No, but there was a pattern.
Oh, that's right. You weren't a 12-year-old girl.
There was a pattern of troubling behavior early on. He spied on my locker combination and gave it to my friends, and they stole all my stuff out of my locker. That was the first sign that there's something wrong there.
Your friends did this to you?
Yes.
Yeah, some friends you got, Steve.
I had a 48-pack of fruit roll-ups in my locker, and they took them all.
Are you going to testify as a character witness for your cousin?
If asked, it's not my cousin. First of all, if asked to testify as a character witness, I will do so because obviously I've held a grudge for a long time.
He has the same last name as you, and you went to the same high school. You got to be related.
The gene pool in Maine's very shallow, Howie.
David Letterman is returning to TV with a Netflix talk show. So it's been 3 years, I think.
Must not see TV.
Right.
Now that he looks like a bum.
But everyone's pretending like they're so excited for this, like all these comedians. Thank God he's coming back. It's like, why didn't you guys watch his show then when it was on? That's the whole reason he went off the air was because no one was watching.
I guarantee he scores an interview with like Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama type.
Or Chelsea Handler.
He's going to have in-depth conversations with extraordinary people.
Like I said, Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama.
Extraordinary moonbats.
Okay, now let me throw this one at you guys.
You think he can get Louis Gohmert on his show?
We'll see.
I'm gonna say no.
Now let me throw this one at you, Howie. How would you feel if we went to a coffee shop and I got my coffee for $4 and you had to pay $4.72?
That would be wrong.
Well, in Australia, that is exactly what's happening. They are charging men an extra 18% to reflect the gender pay gap, and then they donate the money to women's charities.
No, I'm sure that you're right.
Can you explain the gender pay gap to us, Grace?
Well, on average, men earn 17.7 more than women do.
17.7
what? 17.7% more. That's pretty comparable here in the United States as in Australia. So they're both pretty much the same. So basically, it's just trying to teach you guys, oh, look you don't want to give us the same amount of money? Well, now your coffee's more expensive.
Well,
so good luck with that.
You know
Howie.
what? You know what, Grace? We're not going back to that coffee shop again.
No. Do you think that the wage gap is from maybe divergent life choices between men and women, or is it explained all by just bias against women?
I'm not falling for this, Steve. I'm not getting into this conversation. All I'm letting you know is that when you go to Australia, which I'm sure you guys are want to do, watch out for that coffee shop because they're going to charge you more. They said a lot of men, unlike you two oafs, are actually really appreciative of this, and they're donating money, Howie. They're giving more money.
That's ridiculous.
I heard that cows get more money than bulls because they produce more milk.
Well, that isn't right.
By the way, Grace, I'm really thrilled that Howie made it through that entire bit right there without a croaky.
I know. I gave him a moment of silence to see if he would chime in. Very pleased that you did not. Howie, you have some competition. Guess who, I'm going to let you guess now, is ranked as the #1 evening newscaster for total views. Guess who it is?
Me?
No.
It's not?
No.
I finished second?
Yes. It's
We're
David
down to our Britney Spears
Muir.
concert event. We've asked all of you to channel your inner Britney.
David Muir?
Yes. And
I'm so nervous about the kitten I put down at the beginning of the segment.
And I know you're always saying we're doing too much fluff and you like the hard-hitting news segments, but listen to some of these clips of him and the stuff they do on his show.
Yeah, he was tomorrow, big interview. He was, and last night, I have to say, watched all 2 hours of it for you. Also coming up this half hour, what the stars tell us about Will and Kate, and apparently, Robin, about you and moi.
This guy, Howie, is doing, you know how you make fun of the kitten videos? That's like his whole thing. He always.
We're counting down to our Britney Spears concert event. We've asked all of you to channel your inner Britney.
He comes out of local news in Boston. You understand that, right? You didn't know that?
I didn't really even, to be honest,
Channel 5.
know who he was until I read this article. But he's a very handsome dude, and he's 43, but he looks 37. Looks wise.
I bet he's got a lot of chicks, right?
Yeah. What? No, really?
I wasn't implying anything. I'm just playing sound effects back here.
Oh, man. Is he off the market? I thought he was... Oh.
Don't worry. Jim Acosta's single.
Oh, but guys, okay, so now moving on to, you know how I like to cover all the bases here in my news segments because I'm very, very, informed with sports and business and life. So let's move on to, I know you guys have been talking about Colin Kaepernick, or as you like to call him, Colin. I say Colin. And I Googled it. It's Colin. He is having another protest or rally, you might say. And guess who's going to help him out? Spike Lee. He's taking a break from his regular Martha's Vineyard jaunts with Obama, and he's going to the rally to help Colin Kaepernick, which I think is...
There's so many reasons not to go to Martha's Vineyard. That could be a poll question, too. There was a big story in the Wall Street Journal, Martha's Vineyard versus Nantucket. I mean, all you got to do is say Spike Lee, Barack Obama.
Well, he says, I still support my brother and his stance on the injustices in these United States of America, but I did not organize and set up this protest. He's still going to be there.
The football field is our sanctuary.
Oh, this is the guy you're talking about.
If you do nothing else, young man, get back on the football field and let your play speak for itself. And what you do off the field, don't let too many people know because they're going to judge you anyway.
This guy, Ray Lewis, I listened to the whole video. He's so sweet. I also listened to him on ESPN.
He's so sweet.
He's so sweet.
Do you know anything about Ray Lewis?
No.
You're the only one who would describe Ray Lewis as sweet.
Why? Does he have a history of something?
He knows what it's like to be judged. Yeah. Let me put it that way.
Let's explain it on the other side of the break.
Yeah, we'll explain it to you.
All of these guys I saw today, I thought they were all so great. Now you guys are ruining them for me. What, now you're telling me Ray Lewis isn't an eligible bachelor? He's got a dark past?
Dark? We'll fill you in, Grace, on the other side. I'm Howie Carr.
The Howie Carr Show continues next.
Howie here. I received a ton of compliments on my picture with the president in the Oval Office. After seeing the tweet, a longtime listener wrote me to say her husband saw the picture and said, Howie looks great. It's time for me to make an appointment with DiStefano Hair Restoration. Have you been thinking of calling DiStefano Hair Restoration for a while? Why wait? After my DiStefano hair restoration procedure, my receding hairline is gone and I have a full head of real hair. No comb over, no hairpiece. They use your real hair to fix your bald spots or receding hairline, so it looks natural. If you have been putting off calling DiStefano Hair Restoration, call now at 800-858-HAIR. That's 800-858-HAIR or visit hairman.com. That's hairman.com. Look in the mirror. Is that how you looked 20 years ago? You can have a full head of hair again. Call DiStefano Hair Restoration at 800-858-HAIR or visit hairman.com.
When our military members enlist, they embark on a mission of protection and service to a nation and people they love. When returning home from that mission, things don't always go as planned. And at any given time, there are over 50,000 veterans homeless in America. The DV Farm in Gilsum, New Hampshire is giving some of these veterans a second chance at a new mission, integrating back into society. But the DV Farm receives no state or federal funding. It survives solely on your donations. Please support our nation's heroes by giving a tax-deductible donation at dvfarm.org. That's dvfarm.org. One homeless veteran is too many. Let's complete this mission together.
And now one of Howie's biggest fans.
Some of the hats were crocheted, you ignorant Republican. It's pronounced creme de la creme, you stupid Republican. He's 12 years older than me. I wish he'd learn how to speak English. He's 12 years older than I, because you would say he's 12 years older than I am. You wouldn't say he's 12 years older than me am. I wish you would learn English. Go to Mexico, learn English, then climb over this wall that's not going to be built and paid for. Bye. Have you tried the Donald Trump sandwich yet? It's bologna with Russian dressing, a tiny pickle on white. Do you really think everyone of voting age has a driver's license? That shows what an idiot you are. Do you think somebody 97 who wants to vote has a driver's license? You're an idiot. You're the biggest idiot.
Many legislators claim to be for lower taxes and government transparency. But are they really? Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance keeps you informed by posting the voting records of our elected officials. You can log on to our website at massfiscal.org. Click Scorecard to see how your legislator is voting on Beacon Hill. And while you're there, make a donation. And be sure to join our email list so you can stay up to date with the latest information on what's happening at the State House with Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance.
Paid for by the Mass Fiscal Alliance, Rick Green, Chairman.
Hi, I'm Howie Carr, and I'm here with Rick Green of the Mass Fiscal Alliance. Wow, Mass Fiscal is really driving the Moonbats crazy.
Who knew putting voting records online would be so controversial? Many legislators claim to be for lower taxes and government transparency, but they sure don't vote that way.
Your group is just what this state needs. How can the listeners help you guys?
Just have them visit our website at www.massfiscal.org. They can join our email list and donate if they like. And of course, make sure they check out our scorecard to see how their legislators voted.
Paid for by the Mass Fiscal Alliance. Rick Green, Chairman.
If your home has hard water, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes, damaging your appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars each year. You can eliminate limescale in the entire house with HydroCare products available at Wave Home Solutions. Easy and efficient with no maintenance, no salts, no chemicals, and no coils. And you can buy with confidence from Wave Home Solutions. Performance guaranteed. Just go to bestwater411.com. That's bestwater411.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Hi, this is Art from Plymouth, Mass.
This is Allison from St. Augustine, Florida.
This is Chuck in Freetown, Massachusetts, and this is the Howie Carr Show.
This half hour of the Howie Carr Show is powered by General Communications. Not all cloud-based business telephone systems are created equal. Call 1-800-4-GENERAL or click on the General Communications ad at howiecarrshow.com. I'll read you the story here
don't take that.
From 2000. What did you say? He was a sweet guy?
Okay, can I just say,
such a sweet man.
I called my dad on the way here this morning after the whole Stump Grace thing yesterday, and I said, Dad, I think I came off a little bit like a dumb blonde. I'm really going to buckle down today. I'm going to really try hard. And I just texted my dad, and I said, I think I stepped in it again. And he said, you sure did.
An all-pro linebacker was this is from February 2000. Was charged with fatally stabbing two men near an Atlanta nightclub early yesterday following a Super Bowl party. That would be Ray Lewis, your nice young man.
Can we get to the crux of the issue?
Two men were stabbed during a fight that broke out just as the club's Super Bowl 34 champagne blowout was ending around 4 a.m. yesterday. 6 men fought and argued with the 2 victims. They were 21 and 24. The 6 men fled in a black Lincoln Navigator stretch limo, firing at least 5 gunshots as they drove away to in case anyone was pursuing them.
They tried to flee in a black limousine.
Right, while shooting at anyone who was following them out the window.
Wait, let's get to the real problem.
So sweet.
Why is ESPN letting this guy chit chat, and then people like me stumble across him, and we just think he's a normal, average guy? And also, why is he?
Grace, how did you not know this? I mean, everybody knows this. You were alive when this happened.
I don't know.
You listen to sports radio from time to time, too.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed this one, but can I just say that for someone who killed people, he is very righteous. He was saying to Colin Kaepernick, I pray for you. You know, we got to help these kids out in the streets. Wait a second. That did not send me the message that you were a convicted murderer.
Eric Bowling told people that he went to St. Patrick's Cathedral every day on the way to work and lit a few candles, and if Mass was about to begin, he'd sit in for Mass. So he was in church 6 days, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
He's a real sweet guy.
I just want to say...
just because people say things, it doesn't really have much relation to reality usually.
My dad just texted me and said that Ray Lewis has since turned to God. So I think the joke is on you two for judging him so harshly.
He's a good boy, a very good boy.
Does no one get second chances?
Lewis pleaded guilty to obstruction of justice, a misdemeanor. He was originally charged with 2 counts of murder, but struck a deal with prosecutors in exchange for testimony. So he turned into a rat on top of everything else.
Ugh.
In exchange for his testimony against 2 of his companions, they beat the Baker's. One of the victims' blood was later found in Lewis's limo. Having fled the crime scene, Lewis told the limo's passengers to keep their mouths shut. The white suit, he was wearing a white suit that night. And guess what, Grace? They never found the white suit. I wonder why the white suit disappeared.
A lot of people on the text line are asking what my opinion of OJ is.
You know, you've really got to question the wisdom of a guy who's got a white suit on when he's planning to murder a bunch of people.
Especially stabbing them. It's even messier than shooting them.
I'm going to a chocolate ice cream buffet. I'm not wearing a white suit, you know?
Very bizarre. I'm glad that we all got to the bottom of this and that we were able to inform people on this man, Ray Lewis, so that no one makes the same mistake I did. I think that's kind of what I'm here for.
You're just trying to spread awareness.
I'm making the mistakes so that the listeners do not have to make them. I'm here for you. I'm in the trenches.
Everybody's in their car and they're going, what is she talking about? I know what Ray Lewis did. Didn't you know what Ray Lewis did?
No, I'll get some tweets tonight. Thank you, Grace, for informing me on that. And the last thing I want to inform you on, Howie, is that...
Someone at 603 said Ray was just committing the crimes that Aaron Hernandez couldn't do.
Another sweet guy, according to Grace.
I also want to tell you this last thing, Howie, before I leave. Al Gore, turns out he was correct. Because
When?
About all global warming. The report is out. They're trying to get the White House to officially publish it.
This was fake news from the New York Times, Grace.
No, this is on CNN.
Very fake news.
This is on CNN.
CNN is backing up the New York Times. That's like doubling down on the fake news.
It says scientists fear White House will bury federal climate change report. They're scared that because of Trump, their real news is not going to be published.
Yeah, but scientists who contributed to that report said that it's not buried. It was public.
But it doesn't have the White House stamp of approval?
No, it was complete fake news.
It was complete fake news, just like did you hear about what happened in Australia, Grace, with the climatologists down there, the meteorologious.
Won't you tell us what happened down under?
Did they put too many shrimp on the ball, babe?
Crikey, mate. They was fudging the data. And since they told them not to do that no more, just go have a Foster's and not worry about faking all the data, guess what? It's all cold down under.
Down under.
978 says, Grace, isn't that Scott Peterson such a nice, handsome boy?
Okay. I remember him. I think I was like 10 when this Ray Lewis thing happened. So, I mean, that's
This Ray Lewis
Still
thing.
pretty pathetic, I guess. Well, Howie, do you think that the Trump's approval ratings is fake news?
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact.
Because I'm looking at a report here that CNN and CBS and all of these places...
Again, Grace, CNN and CBS and the New York Times, the Washington Post, do you believe what they tell you?
Fact check me. Fact check that for me, Steve, on the fly.
Yes, she does believe what CNN and New York Times tells her.
Thank you. I feel like today, just from all this reporting and all of this fake news, I feel like I'm giving Brooke Baldwin and those type of ladies a run for their money. This is Grace Curley, and this is the Howie Carr Show.
If it's news to you, it's news to us. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And then the market crashed in the 90s. So I had trouble, but it was sort of an amazing, I wouldn't want to do it again. It was an amazing test of yourself. Can you handle pressure? How are you under pressure? Are you smart? You know, when everybody's coming at you. Sometimes in life, to be successful, oftentimes, most of the time, you have to follow your instincts. You have to follow your gut. You have to. Your parents may say wrong. Your whoever may say wrong, but you have to do it. Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And like after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code TALK.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
The Howie Carr Show continues next. We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And then the market crashed in the 90s. So I had trouble, but it was sort of an amazing, I wouldn't want to do it again. It was an amazing test of yourself. Can you handle pressure? How are you under pressure? Are you smart? You know, when everybody's coming at you. Sometimes in life, to be successful, oftentimes, most of the time, you have to follow your instincts. You have to follow your gut. You have to. Your parents may say wrong. Your whoever may say wrong, but you have to do it. Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And like after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code TALK.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And I don't want this evening without saying something nice about my opponent. Hillary's been in Washington a long time. She knows a lot about how government works. And according to her sworn testimony, Hillary has forgotten more things than most of us will ever know. That I can tell you. Now, if some of you haven't noticed, Hillary isn't laughing as much as the rest of us. That's because she knows the jokes. And all of the jokes were given to her in advance of the dinner by Donna Brazile. Here she is tonight in public, pretending not to hate Catholics.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
PatriotPrepared.com carries the leading brands of storable food from Numanna, Legacy, and Heaven's Harvest. Patriot Prepared. Our name says it all. We're dedicated to empowering you to be self-reliant and confident in any circumstance. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, PatriotPrepared.com has prepackaged meals and kits for your entire family. Legacy, Heaven's Harvest, and Numanna are known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. Simple to prepare, easy to store, gluten-free and organic high-quality nutrition options with a 25-year shelf life. You can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. So go to PatriotPrepared.com right now to pick up your supply of high-quality storable food for your family, because it makes good sense to be prepared. That's PatriotPrepared.com.
And now, 6 fun facts in 60 seconds with Grace Curley.
In 1999, the U.S. government paid the Zapruder family $16 million for the film of JFK's assassination. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know, but on average, a licking machine made at Purdue needed 364. Famed ice cream makers Ben and Jerry originally considered getting into the bagel business, but the equipment was too expensive. In 1980, Detroit presented Saddam Hussein with a key to the city. In 1986, iPhone maker Apple launched a clothing line. Between 1900 and 1920, tug of war was an Olympic event.
This has been 6 fun facts with Grace Curley in 60 seconds. Check out Grace's latest posts, pictures, and tweets at HowieCarrShow.com.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. Gifts are always great, but who really needs more stuff? Let's be honest, between Christmas and the New Year, it's hard to come up with a nice way to give a great gift without just regifting that old fruitcake. But luckily, we have the perfect gift idea for you. It's the Howie Carr Show VIP experience. If someone you know is a fan of Howard Lauren's car, then this is the perfect way to celebrate any occasion. Come visit Howie in our brand new studio and watch the entire show. Best part? Well, if you were to ask Howie, he'd probably say the Kowloon. And I can't really disagree. But there is also no other way to see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into New England's favorite radio show. Get your picture with Howie and a selfie with yours truly. We've had over 100 people enjoy the VIP experience, and the reviews have been stellar. We've even had the occasional guest on air to tell their own funny story to the listeners. So don't delay and buy your VIP experience.
You ever notice that there aren't nearly as many memorable movie lines as there used to be? Whatever happened to, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn, or made it, ma, top of the world? What's your favorite movie line? And why aren't there any memorable ones nowadays? We'll be right with you on this topic. I'm Howie Carr.
Live
live from an undisclosed location.
One of the most famous men in New England.
Conservative radio host Howie Carr.
The legendary Howie.
Who do you love?
We love Howie Carr.
Howie Carr.
Howie Carr. We love you, Howie. Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
844-500-4242. Joe Fitzgerald, one of my colleagues at the Herald, went to the movie Dunkirk, which has gotten great reviews. It was #1 at the box office for 2 weeks. You know, it's about the evacuation of the Allied troops from the beach in France, from the Nazi army, the Wehrmacht, in 1940. And it's gotten great reviews, but Joe Fitzgerald came out, and he was in the parking lot, I guess, as he was leaving, and it occurred to him that he couldn't think of a single memorable line in the movie. He couldn't remember a single specific thing that was said, and that got him thinking that back in the old days, I mean, not that long ago, there used to be a lot of, you'd come out of a movie, and even if it was just like a not that great of a movie, there'd be a lot of lines or a couple of lines, or maybe one memorable line. I mean, not every movie, obviously, but many movies had memorable lines that.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
I mean, think how many great lines there are in the Godfather. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
Yeah, that's from Goodfellas, isn't it? That's from Goodfellas. There are a lot of great. How about the scene in Goodfellas? Do I amuse you, Joe Pesci?
Do you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
No, that's a Scarface. Yeah. I was asking.
I didn't have time to censor it out. That's an X-rated rant there.
Oh, okay. All right. Do I amuse you? So, but it's true. I think obviously everything is so PC now. That's part of the problem right there. I mean, we talked about it Google earlier, but another problem is that a lot of these movies, they're such crap that they rely on overseas box office grosses to break even. I mean, I think probably now if Hollywood didn't have the foreign receipts, they'd be in the red. They'd be out of business. So it's not such a. What does it matter if you have great memorable dialogue if everything's going to be subtitled? It's not as important as having special effects. I think they spend.
What do you intend to do, sir? Delta's already on probation.
They are?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Then, as of this moment, they're on double secret probation.
I just remember that Steve said, "What should I pull?" And I said, "That just occurred to me." I mean, that's again, that's not going to be in the Hollywood Hall of Fame, but people still use that line on a daily basis. Ooh, you're going to be on double secret probation, right?
Get to the chopper!
I'll be back.
Fortunately for the voters of California, he has not been able to follow through on his threat, at least in Sacramento. He has been back in Hollywood, but not in Sacramento as the governor. And there's so many. Somebody mentioned how about well, I'm just looking. Cannoli was the Godfather. Was the Godfather? Okay, I'm sorry. I got it mixed up. I'm sorry. Let's see here. I'm looking around here. Somebody wanted. We'll get some more. Let's take some calls on this. What's your favorite movie line, and if you have any theories on why there aren't any more good movie lines? John or Kevin, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead.
Hello, Howie. How are you?
Hi. Good.
Let me tell you, it's another one from The Godfather. McCluskey, Kazaza, and Michael in the restaurant.
Yeah.
By the veal. Best in the city.
That's
another quick one for you.
Yeah, I was
Another
just thinking
quick
when
one.
he goes in, I was thinking about that. He goes, last night, he goes in the restroom and Al Pacino, and he gets the gun down. It's on top of the towel dispenser. Yeah, go ahead.
Right, yeah. The other one is the astronaut movie with Jack Nicholson and Shirley MacLaine. And they just come back from the beach, and they're kind of like wet, and they're walking up. They live beside each other. And she says to him, "Are you coming in?" He says, "I'd rather shove needles in my eyes."
Thanks for the call, Kevin.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah, a lot of people, Officer Mark mentioned that. A lot of people have mentioned that. Some people get it mixed up. We're going to need a bigger boat. It's really you're going to need a bigger boat. Let's see here. Greg, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead.
Hey, Howie, how are you doing there?
Good.
This is an old one, extremely politically incorrect for today, probably why we're not seeing too many of them. But it goes, I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? But in all the confusion, I seem to have lost count. And
yeah, this is the most powerful handgun in the world. Do you feel lucky, punk?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Joe Fitzgerald mentioned that one too. That really is. I mean, that's from Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood. That's classic.
Yeah,
that's a
71.
classic line. That's
a classic. That's a classic one. Exactly.
Yeah, there are a lot of
all the things you can remember. You know, so you can remember 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. How about this one at 2:07? Here's Johnny. Jack Nicholson, of course.
Ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
978 says, badges? We don't need no stinking badges, but he says Blazing Saddles. But I can't say. I got Goodfellas and The Godfather mixed up. You know, again, you get them mixed up, but you remember the lines. That's the important thing. John, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Howie, how's it going?
Good.
My favorite line comes from my favorite movie, Apocalypse Now, with Robert Duvall as Manic Air Cavalry Lieutenant Colonel Kilgore. And he's standing there on the beach. They've blown this entire village up so they can land a couple of guys in their boat there. And he says, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like victory."
As soon as you said Apocalypse, John, as soon as you said Apocalypse Now, I knew what the line was going to be. That's the line. Yeah, exactly. That's the line in Apocalypse Now. Thanks for the call. Who is this? Tube, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead.
Hey, Howie, what a great topic. I got 2 from the same movie. I use them all the time. One is, well, we're waiting. And the second one is, the heavy stuff's not going to come down for a while. And they're both from Caddyshack. One was Ted Knight, the first one, and Bill Murray said the second one. I use them all the time. They're great. And I think...
Yeah. That's another thing.
I don't think anybody...
The comedies, there are no memorable lines in comedies now either, you know?
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
You don't know what that is from, do you?
Crazy... No, I don't.
Zoolander. That's Will Ferrell in Zoolander. Crazy Pills.
I don't know that one.
Very, very funny movie. Very funny movie.
Thank you, Tube. Let's see. Margaret, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Margaret.
All right. How about Al Pacino in Justice for All? You're out of order.
Are you breaking up, Margaret? Call back. All I heard was Al Pacino. I couldn't get anything else. Mike, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Mike.
How you doing, gents? Hey, I have a couple. I have one from Reservoir Dogs. It's when you're in the restaurant and the guy said, "Never mind what you'd normally do. I bought you damn breakfast. Just cough up your butt like everybody else."
Is that Lawrence Tierney?
You remember that?
Lawrence Tierney, right? I mean, that guy was a great one. He was in all those RKO film noirs, yeah. And that's the one, Mr. Pink. You can't be Mr. Pink. What is the thing with Mr. Pink? There's somebody else's Mr. Pink.
Never mind what you know.
Give me Mr. Pink, Steve, if you can find it. Go ahead. What's your other one, Mike?
I got another one from The Wizard of Oz when, are you saying my apples aren't what they ought to be? That's a pretty good one.
Well,
too.
The Wizard of Oz,
It's,
that one is, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Toto. I mean, that's the one Joe mentioned in that one. I think that's the number one. I mean, some of these lines, if you're a fan of the movie, you'll remember other lines, but there's some of them just stick out that they just like Casablanca. Well, there are a lot of them in Casablanca. Round up the usual suspects, and of all the gin joints in all the world, she had to come into mine. And this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. That's just those.
Talking to me? Well, who the hell else are you talking? Talking to me?
It's Robert De Niro, Taxi Driver.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
That, of course, is Cool Hand Luke. Bruce, you're next with Howie Carr and the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Bruce.
I got two pretty good ones, Howie. One of them is from Al Pacino in Scarface when he says, "Say hello to my little friend," and he blows the door off and kills all those guys.
Do you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
My other one, Howie, was Bruce Willis when he says, "Welcome to the party, pal."
And how about Bruce Willis was in what is it though? I See Dead People.
Yeah, I See Dead People. Very, very famous people. Line. Yeah,
yeah. That's one of the most famous memorable lines. That's about as close as a recent memorable line. That's about 20 years old too, right? Something like that. Okay, we're going to take some more calls on this. We come back, 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Hang on. The Howie Carr Show returns next.
As you may have heard, this summer while we're busy supplying New England with our wicked awesome Maine-made windows, we here at Matthews Brothers are also giving away 10 wicked awesome fishing trips with the one and only Captain Dave Marciano aboard the functional yet stylish fishing vessel Hard Merchandise. And all you have to do to qualify is follow us on Facebook. Well, Mr. Man, thanks to Captain Dave, we're now friends with people from exotic, faraway places with strange-sounding names like Uzbekistan, Morocco, and Midlothian, Virginia. We don't like to brag, but one of our new friends is a Nigerian prince who's about to send us a large sum of money after we send him just one more deposit. And the single thing that bonds us all together is our undying passion for good old Matthews Brothers and the 163-year-old tradition of providing not only wicked awesome Maine-made windows, but more importantly, our trademark wow customer service. Seriously, it's actually trademark. You can learn more than you ever thought you'd want to know about windows and everything Matthews, including how you can win one of 10 trips with America's favorite captain, but only at Better Lumberyards and Window Professionals, or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T. America's oldest window manufacturer.
Are you looking for a pre-owned car? Well, before you go to the dealership where you'll be pounced on by pushy salespeople, give the Car Guys a try. I'm Bill Papa George, and my job is to make finding the perfect used car as easy as possible. That means I do all of the tough legwork for you. Once I figure out what you want out of a car, I go find it. I've been in this business for a long time, and I know what to look out for. I won't bring you a car unless I know it will meet or exceed your expectations. So give me a call at 800-300-4600. That is 800-300-4600.
Welders and fabricators, if you're buying your acetylene from anyone besides Maine Oxy, listen to this. With your acetylene, you can't run out, and you want your cost low. Well, at Maine Oxy, we make our own acetylene, so there's virtually never a time where we can't fill your order. And because we make our own, we're paying no middleman, so we pass the savings on to our customers, which could be you. Call us today and find out why more and more New Englanders buy their acetylene from Maine Oxy.
For industrial gas, for specialty gas, call Maine Oxy.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
You know, they say when you do this kind of an event, you always start out with a self-deprecating joke. Some people think this would be tough for me, but the truth is... The truth is I'm actually a modest person, very modest. It's true. In fact, many people tell me that modesty is perhaps my best quality. I'd like to address an important religious matter. the issue of going to confession, or as Hillary calls it, the 4th of July weekend with FBI Director Comey.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
Would odors, mold, and mildew describe your basement or crawl space? It doesn't have to be that way. Transform them into a fresh, healthy, usable one with the technologically advanced Wave Moisture Control Units. The computerized operation maximizes moisture control and also expels harmful radon, combustion gases, and numerous other pollutants. Dehumidifiers are old technology that do nothing for air quality and waste energy. Wave units are intelligent, self-monitoring, do not need maintenance, and will save you hundreds in electricity. Wave units are still running effectively over 15 years. They've been tested and installed in public and military housing and by property managers nationwide. Buy a unit now, and if your home is not fresher and drier, you can return it for a full refund for up to 12 months. What have you got to lose? Call now. 1-888-618-WAVE. 1-888-618-WAVE. Or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
He might not know how to copy and paste, but he's figured out how to tweet. Follow Howie on Twitter at Howie Carr Show. Now, back to Howie Carr.
And your wallet.
Nick, give him your wallet.
What for?
He's got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
That's Crocodile Dundee. That's getting a lot of attention on the text line as well. Officer Mark just came up with another one of my favorites from Batman, from the Joker. You got it there, Steve? This town needs an enema. That's a great one. Today's poll question is brought to you by Cape Gunworks Range and Gun Shop. Looking for a fun activity on the Cape this summer? Check out their store and range in Hyannis, capegunworks.com. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Will Colin Kaepernick play in the NFL this year?
No, I don't think so.
85% agree with you, Howie.
Yeah. Again, who would bring him on? But he doesn't.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
And the truth is, Colin, you suck. You've lost.
He's looking at you, kid.
Yeah, there's so many in Casablanca. Mr. XL, you're next with Howie Carr.
Hey, how you doing?
You get it.
I'll have what she's having. You know?
Right.
That one, that's the greatest. That's just awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thanks, Mr. XL. Get Shawshank Redemption. Get busy living or get...
A couple of them here. There's one that got missed from Animal House. Did we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? This one here, I bet. What's that?
Yeah, you screwed up. You trusted us. How about that one?
Yeah, that one too. Yes, Flounder. Oh, remember when Harry met Sally?
Don't call me Shirley. Shirley, you jest. Don't call me Shirley, or something to that effect.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. Would you be...
I'm ready for my close-up. Again, there's another one. That shows up all the time. You know, so-and-so was ready for her close-up or he is ready for his close-up. Daniel, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, how Josie Wales, when he's facing the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
The guy says, I got to earn a living, and Josie Wales says, dying ain't much of a living, boy.
Yeah, that's a good one. All those spaghetti westerns had a lot of good lines in them from Clint Eastwood.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
How about Howard Beale in Network? You got that one, Steve? I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Yeah, Joe mentioned that one. That's one of the more memorable ones from the late 70s, I guess. Mark, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I think basically the reason why we don't have any memorable quotes is because nobody watches the same movie anymore. It's kind of, just a symptom of where we are. But, it's all, like you said, crap for China or superhero movies.
Right, because, if you have good special effects, it doesn't really matter what the dialogue is, right? And plus, a lot of the stuff, that it would be lost in translation. That's an excuse, right. I'm sure they use, but there's an element of truth to it.
Right, and I was thinking about it, though, and I think the only thing I can think of is actually a superhero movie. I don't know if you ever saw the first Avengers movie.
No.
Well, there's a part, throughout the whole movie that, they're trying to ask why the Hulk isn't changing into the Hulk, and they're like, what's your secret? And at the end, he just says, my secret is I'm always angry, and he changes into the Hulk, and it's pretty cool. So that was the only thing I could think of that was of a recent movie that was kind of popular, but yeah, that's it. I was actually looking at my DVDs, and nothing's jumping out at me anyway, so.
Boy, it really is something. I never thought that was a good observation by Joe Fitzgerald.
When was the last time you watched a movie, like a new movie?
Does Boston Blackie, Booked on Suspicion
count? It does not count. When was the last time you watched a new movie? I know you don't go to the theaters, but when was the last time you logged on to Netflix or Amazon Prime or one of those and just watched a new movie?
I can't even remember. I can't remember.
If the movie's not memorable, the lines aren't going to be either.
No, exactly. I must have watched. I know I've been to some movies. I usually go to some movies in Florida over Christmas, or at least one or two movies. They drag me.
You haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge yet?
No. Rob, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Rob.
Guys, how you doing? Great show.
Thanks.
I got a couple, a little obscure, but it's routinely thrown around with me and my friends with Jaws.
Yeah.
They're in the boat comparing scars. And Robert Shaw, asked Roy Scheider to put his hand under his hat. They're comparing Mako sharks and everything. And he goes, man, what's that? And he goes, St. Pat's Day, Boston.
That's a good one on Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
How do you spend $1 million doing the soccer field? You have a level piece of land. Throw them a ball, let them play soccer, if they have to play it all.
We don't want to listen to his stuff with being politically correct and everything has to. We have a lot of work to do.
10 years ago, everybody wanted the wall. The Democrats, the Republicans, they couldn't get it. You know one of the reasons they couldn't get it? Environmental impact statements. Did you know that? There were toads. It's the most incredible thing.
Number one, I wouldn't even think about anything until I built a wall, impenetrable. There will be nobody coming into this country illegally. But our people don't have a clue. We give state dinners to the heads of China. I say, why are you doing state dinners for them? They're ripping us left and right. Just take them to McDonald's and go back to the negotiating table. Seriously.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
Hi, this is Howie Carr, attorney at law. Are you a white male who voted for Donald Trump? Do you have a Make America Great sweatshirt or a hat? Have you had a beer since November the 8th? If you answered yes to one or more of the above questions, there's a good chance that you are soon going to be charged with committing a fake hate crime. Will you be ready, you uneducated redneck? When you get charged with committing a fake hate crime, will you be ready? You need reasonable doubt at a reasonable price. And that's where Howie Carr, attorney at law, Esquire, comes in. Call me at 1-800-FAKE-HRC. 1-800-FAKE-HRC. And we will get you some legal insurance for when it inevitably occurs and you're charged with a fake hate crime.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
I say, hey, wait a minute. He didn't leave the country. He wasn't out of the country. Then Michael Cohen of the Trump Organization was in Prague. It turned out to be a different Michael Cohen. It's a disgrace what took place. It's a disgrace. And I think they ought to apologize to start with Michael Cohen.
Sir, since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Mr. President-elect. Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization.
You are attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically, Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question? You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not appropriate.
This is the Howie Carr Show. Send Howie a text to 680-680. This is the Howie Carr Show.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Get off my lawn! Another Clint Eastwood line from Gran Torino, is it? Gran Torino. Yeah, I thought of the last movie I saw, Steve. I did, I saw it on TV. It was
I'm excited for this.
Hell or High Water. It was a good movie. It was about these brothers who's were losing their spread in Texas, so they were robbing these small town banks to make up for it. It was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. If they made more movies like that, I might watch one every once in a while. But instead, I just go on Amazon and order the collection of 6 Perry Mason movies from the 1930s with Warren William. That's just as good.
It's absolutely not. You should watch John Wick, Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are some good movies. I think you'd like those. Deadpool. I think you'd like that.
Yeah, I don't think so. Sometimes I read I hear about it. If there's a movie that's good, somehow I don't even read reviews much anymore of movies, but somehow, by osmosis, I find out that there's a good movie out there.
Wedding Crashers is one you should definitely watch if you haven't seen it. And Step Brothers.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna move on to a new topic here now, and again, we mentioned earlier in the show, the Illinois legislature is faced with bankruptcy. I mean, maybe it's appropriate that the first U.S. state, the state closest to going belly up financially, has decided to make Obama's birthday, I guess, a state holiday. As if state workers don't have enough holidays as it is, right?
I'm not a hack.
It's just so preposterous to have a day off for Barack Obama. And again,
I don't know what the term is in Austrian.
There's so many, but there's so many memorable moments. I mean, this is just a continuation. We've gone in a different direction. From memorable movie lines to memorably stupid things that Barack Obama said. And what got me started thinking about this was even before they passed this new law mandating an Obama holiday in Chicago. There was an editorial in Investor's Business Daily a couple of weeks ago. Say, whatever happened to we can't drill our way to lower prices? That was one of his more memorable. Remember that one?
You know that we can't just drill our way to lower gas prices.
As a matter of fact, Mr. President, I don't know that. I do not know that because that's exactly what we have done with fracking. We have drilled our way to lower prices. And not only have we drilled our way to lower prices, we are drilling our way to putting OPEC out of business, which is
if we fall for, a bunch of okey doke.
Spit it out. Spit it out, Mr. President. And let's call in. What are your memorable moments? If you were in Springfield, Illinois, or Chicago, or Decatur, Peoria, what would you remember on Barack Obama Day?
And how do we observe Barack Obama Day? Like, every holiday has certain rites and customs that you need to go through. What do you do
that's
on
what
Barack
I mean.
Obama
That's why
Day?
I'm confused because a day off means you don't work. But I mean, Obama is a day. I mean, his life has been a day off. All of his supporters have had a day off every day of their lives. I mean, how do you give people who don't work a day off?
I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go.
Now think about what Grace was talking about last night. They go down to the Trump property in Lower Manhattan. And they have a big demonstration about the Russians and how the Russians and laundering money, and somehow the Russians are the big problem. But it was a mere 5 years ago that Obama was in a debate with Mitt Romney, and Mitt Romney, the Republican nominee, said that Russia was our leading geopolitical foe, to which Obama replied,
In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back because the Cold War's been over for 20 years.
But it's back.
Ha, 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 ha.
It's back. How about Ted Kennedy? He died when Obama was president. So, and again, remember, this is Ted Kennedy who called Obama Osama bin Laden. But that's neither here nor there. So Obama had to deliver a eulogy,
a stirring oration.
Yeah, it was stirring, all right. Cut number 2.
But because they knew Ted as somebody who bridged the partisan divide over and over and over again. Ted as somebody who bridged the partisan divide, who bridged.
Number 1, he didn't bridge the partisan divide. And number 2, is bridge really a word that you want to use when you're delivering a eulogy for Ted Kennedy? I mean, under any circumstances. All right, and one of my favorite Obama quotes. If we call us and tell us what your favorite Obama quote is, we may have it. We got a lot of them here today. 844-500-4242. My favorite is the global warming one. That this guy, talk about a legend in his own mind. I mean, again, this is a guy who didn't know what language they spoke in Austria, but he thought that he could change the weather.
Generations from now, we will be able to look back and tell our children that this was the moment when we began to provide care for the sick and good jobs to the jobless. This was the moment when the rise of the oceans began to slow and our planet began to heal.
And because the rise of the oceans began to recede, I guess that's why we were able to build the Intercontinental Railroad. mean, you thought the Big Dig was expensive? Think about the Intercontinental Railroad, 3,000 miles.
Is your name really David Crockett? That's a cool name. But you don't have that beaver cap.
Maybe it's just me, but I try not to use the word beaver in polite conversation. How about here's another one. How about he knew so much about so many topics, and he knew a lot about the military. Cut 16.
Navy Corpsman Christian Bashar.
Navy Corpsman.
Navy Corpsman Christian Bashar.
Dave, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Howie, I got two good ones. When Obama said about your business, hey, you didn't build that. Someone else built that. You didn't build that road. Someone else built that. And
whose line was that? Elizabeth Warren's originally, or did she steal it? That was Elizabeth Warren. She stole it from him. I'm forgetting which loathsome politician had it first. Yeah, he had it first. Go ahead, Dave.
And another one people might forget when he said we need a civilian defense force just as strong, just as powerful, and just as well funded as the U.S. military.
Oh,
he didn't talk about the gangs in Chicago.
I remember that now. Yeah, people thought that he was darkly suggesting something, but it was just an idiotic musing, is what it was. Thanks for the call, Dave.
If you've been successful, you didn't get there on your own. You didn't get there on your own. I'm always struck by people who think, well, it must be because I was just so smart. There are a lot of smart people out there. It must be because I worked harder than everybody else. Let me tell you something. There are a whole bunch of hard-working people out there. If you were successful, somebody along the line gave you some help. There was a great teacher somewhere in your life. Somebody helped to create this.
There's only so much of this I can take, especially since he's delivering in his black dialect, which is even more offensive than his normal idiotic musings. Okay, I'll give you a local one now. I mean, it was a national story, but it started out locally in the People's Republic of Cambridge. Cut number 19.
The Cambridge police acted stupidly.
This is going to be my favorite one, though. This is Barack Obama, constitutional scholar.
I believe in the Second Amendment. It's there written on the paper.
On the paper. The parchment. Or is it onion skin? What kind of paper, Mr. President, is it written on? Charlie, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Charlie.
Hey, Howie, the one that gets me is the 57 states, but that's not what he really said or what really meant. If you go back and you replay the tape, he says that he's been to 57 states and he has one more to go to.
Did he say one or two? I think it's one.
No, he said one.
Oh, one? Okay.
I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go.
Oh, you're right. You're right, Charlie. I thought it was two.
58. The guy thinks there are 58 states, and this just flew right past all the mainstream media, like free pass.
Yeah, no, it didn't fly past them. I mean, they just suppressed it. Kind of like the EPA spill at the Gold King mine.
Yeah, but then take that same statement and put it in Sarah Palin's mouth, and they'd mock her endlessly.
Oh yeah, they would still be mocking her for that. All right, thanks for the call, Charlie. We'll take some more calls. What's your favorite line from Obama? Now that we're going to have at least a state holiday, they're going to make a proposal to do it federally. Oh, obviously, because again, the hacks have long been looking for an August holiday. This could be their ticket, so they have 1 3-day weekend in every month. Some months too, obviously, like November or January. I'm Howie Carr.
Don't move. Howie Carr is back next.
You own a small business. Now make it official with T-shirts for your staff. Do what I did. Call Tax Free Tees.
If you're looking for custom T-shirts and apparel, call the experts at Tax Free Tees. They print all the T-shirts for the Howie Carr store, and there's a reason why. Tax Free Tees has the fastest turnaround, and there are no setup or design fees. And Tax Free Tees has low minimums. You don't need to order 100 shirts. If you need custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, or apparel of any kind, do what Howie did. Call Tax Free Tees or visit them online at dowhathowiedid.com. That's dowhathowiedid.com.
DoWhatHowieDid.com. DoWhatHowieDid.com.
Hey, where you going? Where you going? We're going to Arnold's Clam Bar.
It's been named one of the all-time best seafood dives ever by Coastal Living magazine. While TripAdvisor, The Phantom Gourmet, and Rachel Ray all agree Arnold's is a must-visit when on Cape Cod. Arnold's boasts a full bar, a raw bar, and even a sandbar out on the mini golf course. Open daily at 11:30, it's Arnold's Lobster and Clam Bar on Route 6 in Eastham and at arnoldsrestaurant.com.
Howie Carr here with Ronnie from Life Change Tea. Ronnie, Get the Tea has changed my life, but many of my listeners don't understand what Life Change Tea is. Can you tell them?
It's a wonderful tea. It detoxes you. Most people find the side effect for the first couple months is weight loss because we get stuff trapped in our colon. We don't get it out. We don't cleanse, and we feel yucky. So what you're going to start feeling is a lot of energy.
So you can lose some serious weight drinking Life Change Tea?
I lost 25 pounds drinking the tea in 3 months.
Wow. And it just makes you feel better, too.
When you're sick, all of a sudden, when you start taking natural things, boy, I tell you, the sickness starts going away.
I can attest to that, Ronnie. Where can people go to learn more and order Life Change Tea?
They can go to getthetea.com. I make it really simple because people will say, oh, geez, I need to get the tea. So getthetea.com. And we actually put a lot of information out there so you know what you're getting. It's not just a product, and then you go, wonder what this is for. All the stuff is explained right there on the website.
Getthetea.com.
And now, 6 fun facts in 60 seconds with Grace Curley.
If your dog's feet smell like corn chips, you're not alone. The term Frito feet was coined to describe the scent. Ew. Officials in Portland, Oregon drained 8 million gallons of water from a reservoir in 2012 because a drunk 21-year-old peed in it. Also ew. There's a basketball court above the Supreme Court. It's known as the highest court in the land. If you start counting at 1 and spell out the numbers as you go, you won't use the letter A until you reach 1,000. Wendy's founder Dave Thomas dropped out of high school but picked up his GED in 1993. His GED class voted him most likely to succeed. William McKinley was on the $500 bill, Grover Cleveland was on the $1,000 bill, and James Madison was on the $5,000 bill.
This has been 6 fun facts with Grace Curley in 60 seconds. Check out Grace's latest posts, pictures, and tweets at HowieCarrShow.com.
Hi, this is Andrea from Ever So Humble Pie Company in East Walpole. Well, it's that time of year when comfort food is king. And now, in addition to our delectable dessert pies, we're offering home-style classics like chicken pot pie, shepherd's pie, and Canadian meat pie. Simply turn on your oven and you'll have a wholesome, hearty meal. Pick up a fruit pie while you're here, and you've got dinner and dessert from Ever So Humble Pie Company. For more information, call us at 508-660-9731 or visit us at eversohumble.com. That's eversohumble.com.
It's here, Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Kennedy Babylon is a whirlwind tour of scandals from the days of the Kennedy clan's rabidly anti-Semitic patriarch to the death of JFK Jr. Ann Coulter says Howie Carr is making Kennedy books great again. You'll love the never-before-seen images of the Kennedy family in Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Now shipping. Order today at HowieCarrShow.com. Click Kennedy Babylon.
Hi folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms that is, chemicals, processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplement supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website, getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's getthetea.com.
Want to spend a day in studio with Howie Carr? Get to HowieCarrShow.com and click store to get tickets to Howie's in-studio VIP experience. Now, back to Howie Carr.
This half hour of the Howie Carr Show is powered by Subaru of New England, featuring the symmetrical all-wheel drive Subaru Outback, built for exhilarating summertime adventures. There's a lot to love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Learn more and find local retailers at SubaruofNewEngland.com. 844-500-4242. You know, we talked about movie lines that have become sort of a part of the American experience. They're used. You read them, read references to them in stories you read all the time on the internet or in newspapers. And this might as well be a line from a movie because every time there's a crime, you'll read this. Cut number 20.
If I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon.
Good book says, don't throw stones in glass houses.
Can we get a citation on that, Mr. President?
I want to hear that one again.
Good book says, don't throw stones in glass houses.
He claimed he went to church all those years, every Sunday.
I don't know whether this is appropriate, but I just told Sister Carol I love her on a big stage. And it's true, I just love nuns generally.
He loves Catholics about as much as Hillary Clinton loves Catholics,
The guy was
seriously.
The guy when he said that his administration was suing the Little Sisters of the Poor.
Right. They wanted the Little Sisters of the Poor to pay for abortion coverage in their health insurance policies. And but he wasn't interfering with freedom of religion. How about the next one we're going to play? Imagine if Donald Trump had said what you're about to hear Barack Obama say. Cut number 10.
Basketball. I imagine the bowling alley has been just burned and closed down.
No. I've been practicing.
Really?
I bowled a 129.
That's very good. Yeah. Oh, that's very good, Mr. President.
This is like Special Olympics or something.
No, that's very
like Special Olympics. And remember, there was the TV reporter in Michigan who was a female who was asking him some question. I don't know what it was about. And he just tried to put her off and he called her honey. Imagine Donald Trump calling, I don't know, Andrea Mitchell or Allison Camerata honey.
But she is a typical white person.
He was referring to his grandmother. What's your Mr. President? What do you really enjoy when you have a chance to order something off the menu? What do you like?
With Lolo, I had learned how to eat small green chili peppers raw with dinner, plenty of rice, and away from the dinner table, I was introduced to dog meat, tough. Snake meat, tougher, and roasted grasshopper, crunchy.
And nobody ever knew that. For all the
he won a Grammy for that audiobook, Howie.
And nobody ever listened to it because apparently nobody knew he ate dogs until 2013, something like that. The book sold 1 million copies. The audio won the Grammy. Nobody ever read the book. Nobody ever listened to the recording. Until David Moranis. I mean, God bless David Moranis. He deserves some kind of ribbon or medal for slogging through that thing.
But he never spoke about the workers' biggest concern,
their future. Senator, how are you going to help the American auto worker?
Hold on 1 second, sweetie. We're going to do it.
Sweetie, not honey. How did I get that mixed up? All this dumb stuff. You can't keep it straight. There's so much crap out there from him. Paul, you're next with Howie Carr in the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Paul.
I'm proud to say that during my administration, there has not been one whiff of scandal, not even a smidgen.
Yep, here it is.
I mean, look, I'm proud of the fact that with 2 weeks to go, we're probably the first administration in modern history that hasn't had a major scandal in the White House.
Not.
Oh, God. The biggest whopper of all time.
Thank you, Paul. Oh man, how about the when we were talking about the unvetted refugees coming into the country? I mean they've ravaged Europe. They've committed all sorts of terrorist attacks here in the United States too. And so Obama, who has Secret Service protection, he says this is cut number 12.
These are the same folks oftentimes who suggest that they're so tough that just talking to Putin or staring down ISIL or using some additional rhetoric somehow is going to solve the problems out there. But apparently they're scared of widows and orphans.
Lee, you're next with Howie. No time. We're out of time. All right. We got which ones did we miss? Sorry, Merrick Garland is white. That would have been a good one to play. Remember when he said he regularly?
Yeah, he's a white guy, but he's a really outstanding jurist. Sorry.
Yeah, he's a white. He couldn't check the box, so how good could he have been? I'm Howie Carr.